ba la da 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 ba ba bum 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 bum. Dun 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 dun. You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
Don't say.
You're listening to FM 105.7. You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Oh, my gosh, man. I don't know what to do with myself today. I don't know what to do. I love my man, Tony Valls. He pitches to Kyle Schwarber last night with a base open. Pays a price. I mean, I don't know what to do with my man, Tony Valls. I love him. Hey, Brian, did you get the Celtics score last night? I haven't seen it. Celtics, Sixers. You guys close that thing out. Would you close it in 5? How many games did you close it in, Brian? What score last night?
I went to bed just like they did.
You didn't stay up and watch it, Brian?
I went to bed just like they did Tuesday night.
Are you proud of their effort right now? Brian, they don't look like a very good basketball team. I mean, when you're struggling with the Philadelphia 76ers, and I mean struggling, are you counting your chickens, Brian? Are you on to the next round, in your humble opinion?
Well, they won game 4 by 32 points, and then they come back from that and just can't all of a sudden forget to play and to shoot, forget to score in the fourth quarter, trying to close the game out when they had control of it.
They had control of the game here.
I don't know how you can go to that, to needing a game 7.
Mike Levin today on the Rights of Ricky Sanchez said, I don't know. He said, I'm going to be very blunt here. The last 5 quarters of 76ers basketball, he said, I've never seen that from the Sixers. He said, not just this Sixer team, but any Sixer team. He said, and these guys have been a bunch of bozos and bums the entire time. And now all of a sudden they're world beaters. So
it's almost like they want this series to go 7 and someone's fixing it so it does.
That's what Laura said. Laura looked at me last night, and she'd been married to me for too long. But Brian, she said, this is sports entertainment, Tony. I said, what do you mean? She said, how do you explain that? I said, I don't explain it. I said, it's sport. I said, it's, you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen. Game 7. Game 7.
On Saturday night on NBC. And NBC's got the first year of their new TV contract, so there's even more fuel to the fire. They get a game 7 on a Saturday night.
7. Yep. Up against the NHL. I mean, it's going to be wild. What time's the game, Brian?
I think it's 7:30.
Yeah, and my Flyers play at 8. Mike Monaco is going to be on the call. Mike Monaco texted me today. He said, I'm doing game 1 over in the Carolinas. Are you coming? I said, no, Mike, I'm playing music. My boy, the great Marky Boy Griffin, I'm playing his wedding tomorrow. It's going to be unbelievable, Andy. Congratulations to Marky Boy. But
didn't know Mark was getting married. That's awesome.
He's a good man. I love Marky. And then, by the way, Chris Burke's going to join at some point next few minutes. He's going to be in for Hughie Bear, presented by Hughie. Has a little family thing that had come up. So, and then I want to love on Danny White in the Danny District, which I will, because I've seen the renderings and I think I've seen the light on the Danny District. But I'm pumped today. And why I'm pumped is I'm pumped because the Sixers are showing me what's possible in sport. And what's possible is you never know. We have a football team everybody says can't play. And the experts are telling us doesn't have any first-round draft picks on it next year. I don't know that. You don't know until you play the season. I don't know what's going. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know. How about Tim Corbin last night and his star pitcher telling him to get the F off the mound? I got to ask Berkey about that. How about the fact that you're driving and you're jolting and you're juking? How about Jukey baby? Jukey baby, when will you be mine? All mine, Jukey baby. Jukey baby. All right, so we've got that. We've got all kinds of stuff to talk about today. This is fun. This is fun. On Fan Run Radio, where we make it happen with you. The great William Pattison, no doubt, planning a great show. I've got my Preds, what do you call this thing? Toboggan hat on today, keeping me nice and toasty in the Rainier studio, where Willie D. Heflin has just dropped a new weekend rotation, which we will play when the show's over today. Also, I want to encourage you to download that wherever podcasts are available. But Jukey baby, does Jukey become a Vol by nightfall? A Vol by nightfall. The Jukester, as I put in the blog today, we're going to juke out the competition. Maybe I was giving you a little Easter egg in the blog today. That's why we read the blog. That's why thousands and thousands of people read the blog. Bri, score last night. I'm still asking you. By the way, Bri, did I see, in our series, the average margin of victory is like 20 plus points, right? Borderline unwatchable, this series. It's a 7-2 matchup. Going to a game 7. Have we had a close game in the series, Bri, or am I imagining this that they're all unwatchable?
There was one game where it was a one-possession game in the last minute, and the Celtics won by 8. And I think that's the only close game so far.
NBA is a bad product. Now, Alex Myers' Pistons have had a really nice season. What's their series right now, Bri? Tomorrow.
They trail 3-2 going to Orlando for game 6. That game 6 is tonight.
Alley Cat. How have we done that? Alley Cat?
And I think the Atlanta Hawks decided that they're going to tank in the playoffs.
I want to congratulate the Atlanta Hawks because I hope it's going to take those guys probably till June or July to recover from the effort they put in last night. You talk about a team that had the concierge bring their bags to the arena so they could all get to Cabo by the morning light. Cabo Wabo by morning. Tanking some basketball. Gonna get there in the morning. Brian, they were down by 50 in the first half last night. They were down by 60 at one point and lost by 50. They actually showed some guts.
Yeah, they won the fourth quarter, so.
Yeah, they showed some guts.
They can take that into the offseason with them.
Dr. Z DDS is a real smarty pants. Said the Atlanta Hawks looked like Tennessee in the Elite Eight the last couple years. No offense, I didn't do it. The 640 pothole says Game 5 went from a blowout by the Celtics to a blowout by the Sixers in the course of 5 minutes. Let me tell you something about the Sixers, okay? They suck. There, I said it. I'm going to be honest with you. Like my nephew Joe, who's watching us today, Joe Caligieri, who's my man, He texts me. He's like, Uncle Tony, you believe us? I said, no. You believe the Flyers in the second round? I go, no. Mike Monaco. He texts me today. Hey, man, I'm doing game 1 of the Flyers and Carolina, the Whaler Canes series. I say, Mike, you're living my dream. And then I text him back, Brian, about 30 seconds later, and I said, come to think about it, you're living my nightmare. Because you're going to see my guys get whacked tomorrow night on national television. The NBA, Brian, they space their games out like 5 days 5 days away unless they're trying to end these series. And in the NHL, they can't wait to play them. You close somebody out, then you're right back on the ice. You don't even get a break. You don't even get a chance to celebrate.
Yeah, and they can't tip these games off. It says it's a 7 o'clock tip-off, but they don't tip off until close to 7:15. And then it takes literally a 3-hour window to get a game in without overtime.
Yep. 640 Pothole telling me that, wait a second. Michael Moat. Oh, no, not Michael Moats. Who is it? David Speak telling me William Pattison mentioned a JUCO big man from South Georgia Tech from Matt Mole. 6'11", averages a double-double. Let me tell you something. Pattison's plugged in, man. A young guy's that young. I'm high on his supply. I want to give Danny White some love here. And I've seen some artist renderings. Brian, I sent them to you of the Danny District. That thing looks pretty cool, Brian. I ain't gonna lie. And I think Laura has this thing figured out. She said, one thing you guys aren't thinking about is Tennessee, in order to buttress this thing, is going to tie the student meal plans into that deal for the kids to go eat at these chain restaurants are going to be there. I think that's possible. That would make sense to me.
It needs to benefit students some way.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
It looks like it's going to inconvenience them on the front end.
Brian, that hotel and the renderings that are out there, it looks like it's 300 stories high. Now, I love Danny. If you're gonna, Adam told me yesterday, he said, Tony, because I haven't really looked into it, because why? I'll just wait to see the renderings. I mean, the hotel, how do you put this? The little shopping district, redoing G10. I get all that. Modernize everything. I get all that. I get that. The hotel? What's the charm of Tennessee Stadium? The charm of Tennessee Stadium is the waterfront, the Vol Navy, the magic, and it's something we've all shared down through the generations. When you're staring now up off the hill, your view's going to be blocked by a big, huge hotel. And I'm not criticizing it, because it looks kind of cool. It looks kind of cool. I don't want to be an old man yelling at the clouds. And so I'm here to say that I'm rooting for the Danny District. I think it's got a chance to be really cool. And the D10 Garage, which they need to call it the D10 Garage. Dannyland is all right with me. All I'm saying today is give Danny a chance. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is give Danny a chance. But the view from the river looking at the stadium, you're going to see that big, huge, reaching into the sky. I love it. Danny's Tower of Babel. I'm trying to compliment it. I mean, what are we doing here, Tony? You're not supposed to do that. How about Vandy's best pitcher on a Thursday night telling Corbin to get the F off my mound, then putting his glove over his face and giving him what to, and then storming off the mound. I got to ask Berkey about that. Looks like trouble. Looks like trouble in paradise. I want to do my negative imitation. I want to talk about Danny Land, then we got to get Berkey in here. I'll tell you what, I'll do that later on in the show. That's going to be a good little bit for us. How about Corbin? Corbin getting ripped. I mean, ripped by his best pitcher. Not that when Berkey jumps in here, look, I don't want to blow that out of proportion when Berkey jumps in here because it's just not my style. You know what I mean? Bama goes out and scores 3 runs. Is that a symptom of what's going on right now? That's Vanderbilt's best pitcher by far. They don't have a pen. They don't have much of a staff. They can't discipline the guy. And the great Chris Burke now joins. Chris, your boy Monaco texted me today. I said, Mike, you're living my dream. And then I texted him back a minute later and I said, you're actually living my nightmare. I thought about it. Because my Flyers going to get fricasseed on national television tomorrow night. And he's going to call the game. How about that, Berkey?
Well, I'm glad you get to listen to him.
I love him.
Listening to your intro there, I would agree. You're not really one to overreact. I feel like you're taking the waterfront, taking the district stride, handling that well.
Yep.
So, yeah, you're just not going to overreact. It's just not really your thing.
Berkey, in all love and all sincerity, let's talk about what happened last night with Vanderbilt. Has Corbin ever had that? And he's an old school guy, right? In baseball, you want your kids to be competitors. You want them to stay on the mound. Fennell cross the line there, or is that just what it is? And will he forgive and forget?
Well, you never know if there was something said behind closed doors as Fennell was kind of, blowing off some steam in the background there. I mean, you certainly hope there was nothing said that you can't walk back from. But I think if it's just, I want to stay in the game, let me do this. I'm frustrated that we kind of gauge the temperature of the situation differently. I don't think Corbs will have any issue with that. But, having not been there and heard all the things that were said, you're not exactly sure, word for word how it all went down. But I don't think there's many coaches that have a problem with kids fighting to stay in the game, so long as it's done, in somewhat of a respectful manner.
And was that done in a respectful manner?
Well, again, I wasn't calling the game.
He cussed him, Berkey. He cussed him.
I know it.
Get off my effing mound, Berkey. Get off my effing mound.
There's a radio show that I listen to a lot, and the guy likes to say, "I don't know, I wasn't there." So, and he also likes to say it's not physical, it's just verbal.
I didn't do it.
So I'm going to lean into those 2 phrases right now.
Help me make sense of Southeastern Conference baseball. Go ahead, go. Give me like the 30-second download.
Well, it's funny because Corbs kind of said the same thing I've been saying to you guys all season, which is just if you follow Major League Baseball, there's, look at Tony Valls' team. Like, you start off slow, then you win 5 out of 6 or whatever it is, and you look up and you're right around 500. I mean, that's the reality is, with the exception of Georgia, Texas A&M, and then, I would probably put Auburn's pitching there and maybe Ole Miss's pitching there. The rest of these teams are really, and then you got the bottom of the league. But, there's 8 or 10 teams that are just all pretty good. and they could win all three. They could lose all three. Every game is independent of the prior one, to a degree. There's obviously momentum and things like that, but it's John Adams hit me up and asking me if I was surprised by some of the recent, top tier programs struggling, and I'm really not, because again, we know how great Tennessee's 2024 team was. And if you remember, that team got hot late to tie for the conference regular season champions. I think they were, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they were 22-8. And that was the only 60-win national championship team in the history of the SEC. And they got hot late to either go 23-7 or 22-8, whatever they were. And so, that's literally one of the greatest teams ever. And, they still lost some games, and of course we know what happened to the 22 team.
Yep.
So, it's a tough league. The margins are very slim. The rosters are smaller. The player acquisition, I really believe this. You can acquire players in such a different form now that while that allows for great opportunity to redo your roster, it also presents more opportunities to rework your roster, which also, to me, presents more opportunities to make mistakes. Back in the day, you just recruited blue chip high school players, the occasional JUCO player,
yes,
and everybody just developed. Well, now there's so many options. You have the opportunity to make more mistakes.
Hey, Berkey, I listen to smart people like you, Matt Dixon, Taylor, I guess Will Heflin to some extent, although that's debatable in terms of, the gray matter there, but he'll be in here on Sunday, by the way. It seems like a lot of these teams have been caught this year with the limited numbers they're not used to, because now you have to make decisions. And it seems like a bunch of staffs around this league are short pitching. Now, some by injury. So in some sense, it's omission. Some sense, it's commission. They just did it. They just did it on purpose. They built their rosters that way. Are we going to see a rethinking of things as we get these shortened rosters and got some of these programs start to lean more on pitching? Because it looks like the league's short in pitching.
I would say it's a little down in pitching. Some of that's just cyclical. It's also very hitter rich, and so some of that can be reflective. I think there's always a tendency to overreact. I was laughing that LSU coach went on that rant a couple weeks ago about not getting power in the portal, and the other day I think they signed a JUCO kid that has 34 home runs. So. I think you could overreact. You see AD do this all the time in hiring. You get an offensive-minded coach, and then you hire a defensive-minded coach. Things will ebb and flow. I think at the end of the day, last year Arkansas is a perfect example. I've got them in Ole Miss on Sunday. Last year Arkansas goes to the portal and gets a couple kids that kill it. That Charles Davalon kid that played left field for him. He comes from Florida Gulf Coast and kills it. This year they get a couple kids, TJ Pompey and Micah New, that haven't. And, did they change their system to acquire those players? No. It just, some people are just guessing. I mean, Aiden Robbins hit 6 home runs last year at Seton Hall. This year he had 18 for Texas.
Goodness gracious.
Do you really know that? No. You don't really know that.
Right.
You say that's a good hitter.
Right.
Let's acquire that talent and hope he plays. Dalton Knecht. Did you really know Dalton Knecht was going to be that good? No way.
No.
There's no way you knew he was going to be that good. You know what I'm saying? So part of this, you just got to get a little lucky. And then sometimes you're going to get unlucky.
Berkey, when you're on here with me, what do you feel? Lucky or unlucky?
It depends on what question you ask or what topic we're addressing.
Adam Sparks was complimented yesterday on his appearance on the show, and he said, Adam said on Twitter yesterday, he said, that went about 5 different directions, which I I guess when you're on here with what's going through my alleged mind, anything's possible. So Burke, this guy at Kentucky, you and I happen to share Paisan blood. This guy at Kentucky, how do I put this? They've got an interesting approach. They mix a little softball with their baseball. They do the chants. They're wearing the pink hats, whatever it is they're doing. Why does it drive us crazy? And why has it been kryptonite for the Vols in this era, the way Kentucky plays the game?
Well, this was another topic as I was cutting the grass yesterday, listening. This might have been, was it yesterday? Yeah, I guess it was yesterday.
Okay, thank you.
You guys were ripping Mingione.
Yes.
Who, again, because he wears blue, you rip him. But just a little context here. And,
okay.
Only Matt Diskin and you can make me really stand up for Kentucky, okay? In the history of Kentucky's program, they've never been to back-to-back regional, ever. They've been to now 3 in a row. They had never been to Omaha. They went in 2024 and won a game, which we know in this fan base how hard that is to do. They've been to super regional 2 of the last 3 years, and last year was the 1 year they didn't, and they lost in the regional final. So, again, it cannot be your cup of tea, similar to the way Tony Vols' early 2020 teams played, but you can't dispute the fact that that dude has found a niche and has worked that niche in historical fashion for a program that literally has 0 history. So he's been to 3 super regionals, 2017, 2023, which they lost to the national champions at LSU, and then 2024, which they won and went to Omaha, beat Oregon State and Travis Bazana. So, again, it's not everybody's cup of tea, and I get that. It's not necessarily my cup of tea, but you cannot argue with what that guy's done.
So it's the putting the ball in play. So it's the putting the ball in play thing.
They know what they're doing.
It's the putting the ball in play thing. Putting pressure on the defense. I think this Tennessee team matches up as well as any because they're pretty sound defensively. So I think they're going to be able to handle. They're going to be able to handle what they're doing. I think this year more so than any addition we've seen in recent years. Your thoughts?
I 100% agree with that. And again, the antics, you can call that whatever you want. The actual baseball, I admire because he has a big ballpark where the wind often blows in.
Yes.
And he has decided to play a style of play that's going to win in his ballpark. And this is really inside the game, probably more than you bargained for, he has totally mastered the RPI system. And so right now they're whatever they are, 9 and 12, but they have a top 40 RPI because they, unlike most SEC teams, early in the year, they go on the road and play.
Yes.
And so even his down years, he's got a chance to make the tournament because he's willing to go on the road and play mid-major schools.
Yep. And it's great. I mean, I give the guy a lot of credit. He's annoying AF, but, so am I. But I'm effective.
I'm sorry. No offense to Matt Diskin. Just no offense. But the guy's actually really good at his job. And this is really going to trigger our fan base, who I love more than anything.
Yes.
But he coaches third base. So people are just going to have to deal with that, too, because I know that's hard to handle.
God, Berkey today is doing the bionic elbow. I don't know what got into Berkey, but he's loaded his elbow pad today, and he's coming off the top rope for everybody in this audience, me included. Everybody's getting a little bit of Berkey's loaded elbow today. And let me tell you something. If you ever sit with Berkey at lunch, the man's got guns, and he wears a Schmedium shirt to show you. The man's been working out, and he's rocking a Schmedium. I asked him in Monaco, I said, did Berkey jump off the roof backwards to get in that shirt today? And he just kind of looked at me. I said, look at that body. Look at that sausage encasing that Berkey's wearing today.
God.
Berkey, why are you so fired up? You've come in here ready to fight. It's Friday. It's
I'm sorry.
baseball weekend. I love you. My
I'm
gosh.
sorry. I didn't do it. I'm sorry. I didn't do it.
Berkey.
I want to touch on the student section, and many people don't like where they're placed at UT games at the Lindsey Nelson, but Chris had a take about some of the other sections around the league. It's not that much different than what's going on other places.
No, almost everybody's down the right field line or in the outfield. That's just the reality of SEC baseball. the students want to party. The Legends of Lindsay were absolutely legendary for their period of time. And that couple dozen dudes that were just absolutely destroying the visiting team and the first baseman, that was a blast. But the truth is, the vast majority of students that want to show up to a game just want to have a good time and want to be social and have a game going on.
But
in the background.
a cattle shoot, Berkey. Come on now.
No, I'm not saying it
don't
was
do that, Berkey. Don't do that. You're better. You're better. Berkey,
I'm not saying it was well designed.
Berkey, I hate when people tell me this, but you're better than that. Come on now. I hate when people tell me.
I thought Brian asked me a question.
I'm sorry. My bad.
Brian, did you want to ask Tony that question or me? I'm saying that's where everybody is. Texas A&M has the most influential student section in the league, and they're in the upper deck of the first base line, in the upper deck. So the Ole Miss has the most famous student section in the league, and they're 50 feet beyond the right field wall, drinking beer, having a blast, and then they throw it up on themselves when people hit home runs. So the student section is meant to congregate and have. Alabama has them out behind the right field wall, and that's a blast. Mississippi State has them out behind the right field wall, and that's a blast. I think it would be better, honestly. I think the students would like it if there was a right behind the right field wall that currently doesn't exist. So they have them down the right field line. That's just what everybody in the league does. Again, Tony's not prone to over exaggerate. So that is what it is.
In other words, let them eat cake.
Just let the kids have fun and watch the game. Again, that doesn't mean that the area was awesome design. I don't know that. That's not the world I live in. But as far as their location in the stadium, it's on par with the rest of the league.
But didn't where we have them before make us like Duke in baseball? Didn't we have that little vibe going there?
Well, we did for like a half of a season during the COVID deal, but Duke's been doing it for 50 years.
Well, why couldn't we just?
I don't think that's an apples to apples comparison.
Why couldn't we just keep doing it? We struck gold there. Why couldn't we keep doing it?
Because we had a $3 million a year baseball coach, Tony, and a $5 million coaching staff. Like you have to pay for that somehow.
But Duke has a $25 million baskaetball roster.
Again, no disrespect.
And they keep their students on the floor.
There's comparing it to the greatest student section in the history of sports is not really a fair comparison, in my opinion.
Berkey, you've really come in here like, I don't know, man, gunpowder on your Wheaties. Berkey, how many? Berkey, you're probably going to say 18 to this, the way you're going right now.
I love the free debate.
How many wins?
Opportunity.
Berkey, I love you. Berkey, it's verbal, not it's verbal today, not physical. Easy.
That's right.
How many wins, from your opinion, does the baseball team need? Do they need to get to 15 in the league? Is 14 going to be enough? These guys are sort of very quietly turning it on here a little bit.
Do you want some sunshine? Would you like some sunshine this morning?
I mean, it would be nice if you would cooperate.
I just like to call balls and strikes, Tony. I just like to call balls and strikes and call it right down the middle. Doesn't mean I'm right. I'm just, trying to call balls and strikes. Let me just tell you, I truly think Tennessee has still, again, this is the glass half full. First of all, I think 14 wins, they're shoe-in, so you can put that in the bank. I think they've got an outside shot to 16 wins, and then things get very interesting. Again, outside shot, but they've got 9 games left. If they figure out a way to go 6-3, remind me who they play last, Brian?
At Oklahoma. At Oklahoma.
Texas at home and Oklahoma on the road.
So again, Kentucky series is going to be similar to the ones they've played to this point. It'll be, I imagine 2 of the 3 games will be 50-50 games. You might win one of them handily. The other 2 games will be 50-50 games. You can figure out a way to win that series, and you come home 12-12. Texas is, while I think Texas is still one of the top of the league and one of the sure bets to get to Omaha, they are not invincible. If you can figure out a way to keep Robbins and Tenney at bay, their lineup is more pitchable than Georgia or Texas A&M. Now, again, Dylan Volantis on Friday night is a problem, but Deacon Coons has been a problem too. And, you look at Vanderbilt, almost won that series last week. Like they lost 4-3 in extra innings, or Vanderbilt wins that series in Vanderbilt. So again, is Texas elite? I think they are. Can you get them on the road? It's not out of the question. So if you then win that series, you're 14-13, going to an Oklahoma team who's actually a slightly better version of this Kentucky team, in my opinion. Very similar brand of ball, a little bit better starting pitching. But, again, is it a long shot? Yes. Is it impossible? No. And if you won 2 of those 3, if you win both of these road series and hold serve at home with how they've played here the last week, and you go in 16-14, it'll be a top 20 RPI.
Yes.
And again, this is a very sunshiny view, but it is kind of cool that they're like, it's not dead to host. It's not dead.
Oh! Berkey
came. I'll just say that.
Berkey took his heel mask off, ladies and gentlemen, and he's now baby facing for us here. By the way, Jude, who's one of our student listeners who loves you, who's a UT student, loves you, okay? We call him Hey Jude. Wants to know.
I like Jude. I appreciate Jude's take.
Are you coming in for the Texas series?
I have the Sunday game.
He wants you to come down and experience the student section so you can see how bad the sight lines are. He says they're not even facing home plate.
I don't like that. I will agree with you on that. I wish it was at a better angle. I 100% agree with that.
He says they can't even see the plate where they're at.
See, Tony, I can have a very down the middle take. I can agree that I don't love the design.
Because you like Jude.
And disagree that the right field line is a bad place for students. I can agree with one, and disagree with the other, and 2 things can be true at once. It's okay. That's just my opinion.
Chris Burke's a ball knower. Chris Burke knows all these sports. Chris Burke knows his football. He knows his college basketball. He's what I call a sportsman. Berkey, this Rick Barnes guy is getting after it, and Juke's about to fall to the Vols. Juke.
Pretty unbelievable.
All right.
And I've been having a lot of fun with my Kentucky
I want to ask you about
that.
Walk us inside the mindset, because when you talk about triangulation, Louisville's doing it too. Louisville and the Vols are going off, but Louisville's having a pretty good haul. Now the Vols are going off. Louisville's pretty good though. Kentucky can't get anybody to take their money. Berkey, talk to me here.
Well, you know how I like to troll, because I sent you a Kyle Schwarber tweet this morning. I know you love that. So one of my giftings is I love to stir the pot. So you can only imagine, as we continue to land 5-star portal editions and Kentucky continues to swing them in, what they call Pope Ken Whiffy Jr.
Ken Whiffy, that's what they're calling it. I haven't heard that. That's awesome.
Oh, it's pretty next level, as the great Tony Basilio would say. So we've been having some giggles up here. I love my Kentucky fans.
Yes.
I love my bluegrass roots. But the truth is, I've been in enemy territory for the last, 30 years. And because I love to stir the pot, I kind of get a kick out of. My kids don't understand why we don't live in Knoxville.
Yes.
Every time we go there, they're like, "Dad, I just love seeing people in orange." I'm like, "Son, I do too." But we're Louisville family.
There.
That's where we're at.
That's right.
That's right. And I actually kind of get a kick out of needling people. And of course, their only comeback and their most consistent comeback is, when are y'all going to go to the Final Four? And that's fine. I usually rebut with, wouldn't it be great if we all still played with peach baskets and you guys were the best program still? But we like to have fun. We like to have fun. Poor integration really hurt the Kentucky program. And, we like to have fun. I got some buddies that like to laugh.
We've got a horse. We've got a couple horses tomorrow running in the Kentucky Derby. Pope's Last Hope, Mitch's Brew, Can't Buy Me Playas, and Boosters
Put Ken
Remorse.
Whiffy Jr. in there. Put Ken Whiffy Jr.
Ken Whiffy Jr.'s got to be on that list. But, Berkey, we also have two big carry. We have fifth-year 3-year-old, which is a great fifth-year 3-year-old's pretty damn good. We got Danny's Disneyland. Fulmer's First Tip is an interesting aside. Saban Smile. Live is Dead. Live is dead, Berkey.
Can I say that your YouTuber names are all-time great?
Oh, you lurk on the YouTube, Berkey?
No, I've never been on the YouTube, but just when you reference them.
Yes.
What was the one? John Adams' Absence.
Yes, there's John Adams' Absence. I mean, some of these guys.
I don't know who those guys are.
Yeah.
But you guys are incredibly creative, and keep calling Basilio out because he needs accountability. We all need encouragement, accountability. Tony is the most entertaining guy in sports talk radio, and he's prone to exaggeration. So two things.
Not me. Hey, Berkey, I love you. So you'll be back here for the Texas game. We'll be breaking bread. I need to have you out.
Hang in there. Hang in there, ball fans. You might still host the regional. It's still on the table. Hang in there.
Thank you, Berkey. Love you.
It's not over till the math says it's over. All right. Peace and love.
Presented by our friends at Gufon Moving and Storage. A love story, several generations in the making. I love Tom Gufon. If you're listening, I love you. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate the support. Y'all are amazing. You're incredible. Gufon Moving and Storage. Shout out to Taylor. Look, it's the spring-summer season. People are moving. They're grooving. It's unbelievable, Andy. We're going to have a move need here soon as we are doing some things at the Rainier Studio. But since 1887, that's 139 years. That's 5 generations. That's longer than the NIL period feels like it's been. Brian, how long does it feel like we've been in the NIL, which is totally exhausting, by the way? So exhausting following this stuff. But when it's going your way, it feels good. When it's going
We've been in it for a long time if you consider that it wasn't always legal.
Jokey. Well, that's a good point. Jokey. Juke's coming home. Let's go. All right. Do you have any horses to add to the Kentucky Derby? Because
how about Mollywalk?
Mollywalk's
a good horse.
Doinky hooked me up. Mollywalk is very good. What did he say? What do they call him, Pope? Who's now
Ken Whiffy Jr.
Ken Whiffy Jr. They're going. They're going to Israel now. They're opening up new territory. I'll tell you what, Popey.
Maybe they'll bring Ethan Berg back.
Hey, Popey,
with them.
Popey. It worked out really well for us. Now, when a Pope's got to go to Israel to get a player, I mean, you know we're a little desperate. When a Pope's got to go to Israel. Here's the thing. Berkey today came in here, and I'm just going to call it what it is. He kind of embarrassed himself a little bit. Didn't call balls and strikes like he usually does. I mean, I love Berkey. He's a good man. Have you seen the video of the TMZ's acquired? I don't know where they get. Well, I know where they get these videos. People film famous people and then they sell them to Harvey Levin. But this Diego Pavia guy is taking money and throwing it, money that he needs to put in his pocket, and throwing it up in the air at strippers the night before the draft. No wonder he went undrafted. What is this guy doing? See, that's my whole thing about the NIL is there's a couple ways to look at the NIL. Some would say, well, you're making these people rich. Actually, no, you're not. The NIL is a local stimulus to local economies. Because a lot of these kids are taking that money and going out and putting huge stereo sound systems that they're having built in our local community in their cars. They're buying cars. A few are actually creating equity and buying houses, which is a great thing. Jennifer Morris has helped several athletes with that, showing them how their money can stretch and go a long way, which is a good thing. But really, it's an economic stimulus. I looked at some of the garish stuff that Nico and his folks were doing over at their compound. No offense to them. But, Danny White might just have something here with this entertainment district. I was thinking about what a visionary the man is, and I'm going to celebrate him in the second hour. But I want to hear from you as well. I want you to nominate a horse for us. You can come up with a horse for us for the Kentucky Derby. We've got Ken Whiffy Jr., Too Big Carry, 5th year, 3-year-old, Danny's Disneyland, Pope's Last Hope, Mitch's Brew, Former's First Tip, Saban's Smile. How about Saban, as the throat said today, taking liberties on Josh Heupel? Saban does not like the fact that Josh Heupel retired him from competition. Saban does not like the fact, I'm going to say it again for the Bammer in you, when he had Heupel and Hendon Hooker had that magical day against him in the Neyland, which will never be forgotten by the living fan, that retired Saban. Saban said, I can't do this. I don't want any more. No mas. No mas, Saban. No mas. No mas. No mas, Dos Equis. Cervezas Mexicanas. We're going to come back on the other side. I want to hear from you. 865-200-5402 is the numero dos. I'm seeing the light now on Danny's entertainment district. Brian, those artist renderings, I'm going to get your thoughts on them. Not the artist but the renderings that are out there. They're phenomenal. I mean, I've seen the light, ladies and gentlemen. I have seen the light. So we continue with more right after this.
Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Van Run Radio, where Big Orange Country comes to talk sports. Start your morning off with your daily dose of talk sports with John Reed and Cody McClure from 8 to 11. Then it's Tony Basilio from 11 to 1. The Playbook with William Pattison from 1 to 3. And The Drive from 3 to 6. It's 10 hours of hard-hitting local sports radio every day.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Gotta love this time of the year. Hoops here, home runs over there, and you've got to get your Tennessee on. And there's only one place, the best place to shop for your officially licensed Tennessee Volunteer Gear, Alumni Hall. Hands down, the best store for Vol fans. They've got the latest and greatest apparel for the entire family. Hats, man cave items, decor, and more. Get your Vols grill cover, a plate for your burgers, and of course, that chef's apron for all that outdoor grilling this spring. And accrue those rewards and watch your balance grow online or on the app. We'll see you at Alumni Hall and alumnihall.com and G to the B to the O, Alumni Hall.
Nothing reminds you of how much you rely on your air conditioner like the first really hot day in East Tennessee. Schedule Pipe Wrench Home Services' $79 seasonal tune-up now before the heat sets in. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune your HVAC system to help it run efficiently and reliably while reducing the risk of breakdowns when you need it most. And while we're there, we can also recommend ways to improve your indoor air quality for cleaner, healthier air throughout your home. For more than 20 years, homeowners across Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and surrounding communities have trusted Pipe Wrench Home Services for dependable comfort. And with our same-day service guarantee, you won't be left waiting when comfort matters most. Schedule your $79 seasonal tune-up today at pipewrench.com. Same-day service guaranteed, or the visit is free. Offer valid on standard systems only. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
Tony B back with you. I love my man Tony Vols, okay? But when you got a base open and you're playing in Major League Baseball and you got the Phillies, and I love Tony Vols, okay? You can't pitch to Kyle Schwarber, who's the only guy the Phillies have that can hit. He be it. He be it. He's the only guy they have. You can't go pitching to him. Don't go breaking my heart. But so the horses are coming in, and we're making it happen. And it's a lot of fun. So, Danny Wood. How about Danny Wood, Bri, for the district? Keeping it local in honor of Dolly. Danny Wood? That's not bad, Bri, is it?
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. That'd be a good horse name.
Danny Wood is very good. Danny Wood is a good one. Joshy Boy feels like he's gone heel turn on me. He's texted me a couple of rather rude things. All right, so jokey. How excited are you about Jukey and the Jukey news? I don't know what I'm going to do with myself when Juke comes down because Negadave catastrophizes. Y'all think Negadave's an act? Let me read you a text from Negadave, then we'll go to the phones. So the other day I'm sitting around minding my own business, okay? And Negative Dave even has my backup number, okay? If this is yesterday at I've been telling Dave the whole time behind the scenes that Tennessee and Juke Harris are done and have been done for a couple weeks because that's what they believe. And it's kind of what I know. All right. Sort of what they believe. So here's where I'm at. Okay. Here's where I'm at. When they believe they're going to get somebody in this cycle, they've been getting them. When they believed last year in the transfer portal, they were getting people, they got them all. The only exception to that is Isaac McNeely. And they never recovered from that last year. They just didn't recover from that. And the only reason Isaac McNeely wiggled off the line is they didn't offer his major, and he was one of the few players in the transfer portal that actually wanted to go to school. The nerve of him. The guy was like a student. They were like, "You're what?" "Yeah, my major. Let's talk about my major." They were like, say, huh? "You're what?" Like, you actually like care about going to, like what? I'm not saying these guys don't go to school anymore. When's the last time you heard of the term APR? Like this NIL thing hit, and this became unprofessional sports overnight. I don't call it professional sports. It's unprofessional. Because what they've done to the fan and what they're doing and the way this thing is structured is totally unprofessional. But this is the world I live in, okay? I'm minding my own business here tonight. I get a text. And Negative Dave says the following. If Juke Harris returns to college, Louisville is now a strong contender for his services, a Louisville insider says. He will visit Louisville this weekend. Looks like, Tony, we're going to get outbid for Negative. That's why Barnes flew out to see Juke Harris yesterday. If you don't get these things done and over with, you're in trouble. Someone's always going to pay more. Tony, Juke Harris is not coming to Tennessee. He's either staying in the draft, which is a good possibility, or he's going to Louisville. Hey, Dave. Soon it will all be over, my friend. And what are you going to worry about at that point? You and the others that like to worry about this. I mean, and I get it. Some of you, like Easton Hayes, think that Negadave's a bit. There's nothing bitty about Negative. He's not a bit. He's not a bit. Bino said when he found out who he was, he said, "Oh, that's Crazy Dave." Which Dave has since told me that's what they called him when he played softball. And I said, "What do you mean Crazy Dave?" He said, "Well, Tony, I saw him one time pop out in a key at bat in a game in softball, and he threw the bat on the ground, and it popped up in the air and blasted his nose open. The bat bounced off the ground after he threw it under the ground, bounced right up and popped him in the nose, and blood was everywhere." He said, "I also saw him make an out one time and ripped his shirt off like Huck Hogan, like Huck Hogan." Bender of String said, "The longer the straw is out, the smaller our chances are." That's not true, Bender. I told you several weeks ago that this thing was going to drag out. What? And it's not even dragging out. Tennessee knows what's going on. And Barnes went out there to show the guy some love. Because you have to respect people when you're going through this process. Why do you think every service under the sun now is crystal balling the guy to Tennessee? Why do you think Chris Lowe said the other day, I think he was on Baskerville, on their podcast, the great Bob Baskerville. Why do you think he said that? Just for fun? Why do you think for the last couple of weeks, and including when, was that 3 weeks ago he was visiting Michigan, or 2 or 3 years ago? And everybody was crystal, he's gone there, it's a fait accompli, it's a done deal, blah, 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 blah. And what did I say? What did I tell you? I said, I'll tell you when to worry about Juke Harris. You know? Hey, Juke. Because if you think he's gone to Louisville, Dave, it's nah. Hey, Jukey. It's called Barnes went out there and showed the guy some respect and some love. And by the way, Barnes don't want to do the caravan. How many radio appearances? I mean, Barnes doesn't do that kind of. He's not there to do the caravan. It's a good excuse to get him off that caravan. Barnes, it's kind of what I like about Barnes, is that he digs in with the people he needs to dig in with. His caravan stop are 3 or 4 boosters. That's his caravan stop. You know what? As long as they're going at it like this in the portal, I'm okay with that. Now, if he wasn't hustling and they weren't rolling up their sleeves and being straight gangster in the portal, I'd be calling him out for not going into the caravan and glad-handing people. But I think even the living Vol fan would have to say, I would rather him be out there with him than him be here with us. And we don't get him. You got to go show this guy some love. Does that make sense? I mean, the bottom line is that Tennessee wants him, and they also want the kid from Cal who's looking into the end. Go get all the information you can from the pros. Barnes's philosophy and the staff's philosophy on that is, we're not worried about losing you. We're not worried about, let me make this thing bigger. There you go. Louder. We're not worried about losing you to the draft. We want you to get information from those people if that's what you want to do. So you come back here a more humble and ready player. Ready to learn, ready to work on your weaknesses. And one thing the NBA level wants to see from all these people is, can you guard? Can you guard? Can you guard anybody? Can you guard anybody? Jokey. Heupel's Razor. Can Tony go a show without mentioning Danny or Dave? Tell you what, Heupel's Razor. It seems like I can't go a show without saying your name. Because it seems to me, and I could be wrong, that you're starved for attention. And one of these days, bro, I'm going to give it to you. One of these days, I'm going to give you the attention you've been craving. (865-200-5402). All right, let's get it. Let's keep it legal, then we'll go to the phones. I want to get as many people in here as humanly possible. Oh, my gosh. And then Dave had another talk. Good gosh. If Juke goes to Louisville, what will be Barnes' excuse? We didn't have his major. Oh, my gosh, Dave. Dave's last text to me, Brian, was late last night. He was cogitating on that for 5 hours, it looks like.
I think you've invented somebody here. I don't think that's a real person.
You want me to screenshot it and send it to you? I'll send you some of the... I sent Bino a couple of the 4 o'clock in the morning texts. I said, Bino, is this guy for real? Bino said, Tony, everything about that dude's authentic. Everything about... He said it totally would make sense that he locks in and loves your show. He said, because you guys are so, like, crazily authentic. And you guys are so nutty. Here, hang in there. 10 seconds.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
All right. Let's go to the phones. Get as many people in here as humanly possible if you want to jump in. We're Hugie free. Shout out to my friends at Proper Popcorn. They are tremendous. Joel, shout you out. You guys do an incredible job. They've got 2 locations serving you better. And, man, what a great product that is. They've got over 50 flavors you can sample. 2 locations, downtown Knoxville, Market Square. Also, another shop, West Knoxville, shop at Franklin Square. You can order online at properpopcorn.com. When you go in there, you'll see that they are doing it live right in front of you. Over 50 flavors you can sample. Every batch of popcorn is made on site at the shops, and then they do what they're doing right in front of you. 50 flavors you can sample when you go, including classic caramel, the zebra drizzle, which is classic caramel drizzle with both milk and white chocolate. That stuff. Here's the problem with proper popcorn, okay? When you're like me and you're watching your waistline, or in my case, watching your waistline grow. Once you start, you can't stop. Makes a great gift. Once you start, you can't stop. Makes a great gift idea. The proper mix, classic caramel and cheddar. The NIL mix, spicy buffalo and white cheddar. It's orange and white. It's perfect for your tailgating. I'm telling you. Proper popcorn, a well-kept secret, no more, because we're going to blow them up. But let's go back to the phones. I do want to shout out Jukey boy. Jukey. Is it Juke Harris Day today? On the show, Dave, or is he going to Louisville, Dave? You know? Is he going to Louisville, Dave? Is that where he's going? Or is it Michigan or North Carolina? Whew. Let's go to the phones. Who knows what's behind door number 1? We're about to find out. Hi, you're on the air. Welcome in.
How are my French compatriots doing today?
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. The first pitch generally sets the tone, which means we're about to have a hell of a program. W. Lynn, welcome in.
Tony, Chris Burke was great as always.
He was a punk and a clown.
But, he got a little sheepy to me on, I don't know what's going on with that student section deal, because Hey Jude's right.
Yep.
If they could go in the right field above our bullpen all the way to the scoreboard, they would be facing home plate, and that'd be the equivalent of the porches.
W. Lynn, let me ask you something. What's more important in your eyes? Building a high-rise that's going to eclipse Neyland Stadium off the waterfront and the entertainment district, or getting a solution for the students in the outfield? What should be a bigger priority in your mind?
The student section, because they fuel the fire for the fans, to get this crowd going. Tony, that hotel is going to destroy a view of Neyland Stadium that's been there for 100 years.
Yes.
A monstrosity of a hotel.
Yes.
Which is actually between Calhoun's and the sewage treatment plant. If you take the river and go to the Strip, I don't think there should be any commercial stuff in that area. All we need down there is Calhoun's.
God, brand loyalty. Let me
Love
tell you
that
something.
Place. Love that view.
Let me tell you something. If they put like restaurants there and people want to go eat frozen food, have at it. But Calhoun's, what you're going to get, their USDA butchers cut that stuff. They cut that moit daily. They got fishermen fishing off each coast. That seafood you're going to taste is absolutely fresh. Their produce they buy from local farmers. It's fresh. You taste the freshness when you go to Calhoun's, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
But I'm telling you, Laura made a good point, because I remember 15 years ago when we were trying to build our second KA house, they said, "Oh, don't worry about a kitchen and a meal in the house." Their diner cards at that point could be used for all the restaurants and stuff on the Strip. And I've been telling people they've destroyed that Strip for a reason. Now, where you're going to use your diner cards is you're going to have to walk down by the river. Like Laura said, that's probably true. The students will be able to eat there.
She nailed that, I think.
Because they used to be able to go to the Strip.
Part of the scheme. Students are now funding student activity fees all over these campuses are now funding a bunch of these projects. People don't know that, but there are a bunch of people that are agnostic toward sports, or even atheistic toward sports, don't believe in them at all. What's going on in major college sports, and they are funding with these student activity fees now, they figured out a way to get their hands on some of that revenue on these campuses all over the country. I don't know if they do it at UT, but I'm just talking about as a rule, the whole system has been buttressed and kept afloat by these incredibly, the exponential increase in tuition, which has also led to an increase in student fees. And that stuff is buried in the fine print that now all over the country, they're paying for what we're watching in athletics. I don't think most people realize that, but that is in fact the case.
Another thing, Tony, years ago, they said, we're going to keep the Knoxville campus size at about 26,000 students. Well, now they're going up to like 40,000 because that's more revenue.
That's right.
And I saw on a TV show, Michigan has nearly 800,000 alumni. We have like 300,000.
Damn.
And those Big Ten schools for decades have had monstrosities of attendance for their own campus school.
Hey, W. Lynn, I say this to you, W. Lynn. 60,000 people at Penn State up there at Happy Valley. 60,000. Yeah. It looks like a mini city. It's crazy looking.
So the SEC, we're trying to play catch up, and we're trying to cram 40-some thousand students between a river and an interstate, and and to create more alumni to get more money. That's what's going on, Tony. That's why they destroyed the Strip. They want people go to this new entertainment nonsense.
So destroying the Strip is actually, this all predates Danny White. He's just sort of
W. Lynn. I don't buy into that. I don't buy into your conspiracy theory that they've destroyed the Strip for a reason.
Well,
it's what
they destroyed it originally,
right,
to get people to go to what my daughter used to call downtown. I used to call it uptown, Market Square and the old city and all that.
Yes.
To limit alcohol trouble liability. But now the plan is, let's just keep building housing down there so we can up our enrollment.
Yes.
So there was two different reasons for destroying the Strip.
W. Lynn, I think that you need to be like me. You need to look at the plans. You look at the renderings that are making their way online, and you will come to see the light like I have that this is a good idea.
Well, I could maybe live. Bob Baskerville made a good point. I could maybe live with the bars and restaurants, but not that monstrosity of a hotel.
I love Bob Baskerville because the man has made his living in commercial, in the commercial realm as an absolute giant in the broadcasting industry. I mean, a giant. If you knew some of the things that Bob Baskerville was involved with in his youth, the man is an absolute broadcasting legend when you say his name to people. Let me tell you something. The man knows from whence he speaks. And my one problem with that entertainment district right now is that monstrosity hotel that's going to destroy the skyline. Because when I look up from Calhoun's, I want at nighttime, I want to see that stadium and I want to see the Vols. I don't want to see some thing that looks like it belongs in Saudi Arabia. No offense to Saudi Arabia. I'm for Saudi Arabia. I'm for oil money. I'm for Dubai. Actually, I'm not. Actually, I'd stay the hell away from those places if I were you. But anyway, especially if I'm a woman, no offense to them. But I'll tell you this right now. I don't want to look at that in my skyline of the stadium. Other than that, though, I'm going to practice, and I'm going to be a good man today, and I'm for Danny White, and I'm for the Danny Dollar District.
You know what he's going to try to do next, Tony?
What that?
He's going to try to put docks in there and have the Vol Navy go all the way down to the sewage treatment plant.
Sure he is. Sure. Or let's just destroy Stadium Drive. We'll just rip it up right there and have them come right up to the restaurant area. Who needs Stadium Drive?
And if you've seen how those boats tie to each other to Vol Navy, where they might go out 5 or 6 deep.
Yep.
He's going to probably start trying to charge for that section of water.
Yep.
That they're sitting on.
Yup. Thank you, my man. You're a good man. I appreciate you. But W. Lynn, you're all wet when it comes to criticizing Danny White and saying it's some kind of conspiracy. Because Tennessee isn't the only school doing this. These people have an insatiable appetite for revenue. And these athletic directors love building buildings. It's their love language. I would have thought the NIL era would have stopped them from building buildings. But Danny White's figured out a way to build more buildings, bigger buildings, more bigger buildings, bigger, more buildings, more bigger buildings. And, you think about it. They go down there on a nice fall afternoon, and what are you going to do? Well, I got to stop. I'm trying to get on board with it. Brian, I'm going to be like Negative when Vols made the Elite Eight. You ready? And then we go back to the phones. I really think Danny White is doing a great job. I want to say I appreciate his approach to this and all things Tennessee. I think he's an excellent athletic director, and I want to congratulate him on his vision for this entertainment district. And I want to pledge. Oh, okay. I got you.
That sounds like Vegaday's phone call after the Virginia game.
That hurt my shoulder. Don't do that. I want to pledge my support for this entertainment district, including the hotel, which is going to be 100 feet taller than Neyland Stadium and shine like a tower of prosperity over our entire athletic program.
I guess he's going to charge everyone extra that's got a hotel window view of the stadium and the game.
Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome in.
Good day, Tony.
Hey, welcome in.
So what is the reasoning for this? What is the back end? Who's backing it? How is this not being stopped on the hotel thing? Or the whole strip mall? They can take that to Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. Why we got to destroy college atmosphere? And why is it being backed?
You'd have to call Chris Burke. He's for it. He could tell you all about it. Listen, I think that if you want to sell me that you need an entertainment district, I think that's a silly idea on a college campus, but these guys think they're in professional sports now. They're fashioning this thing after what the Texas Rangers have around their ballpark. What several people have around their ballparks now, the Battery in Atlanta. Here's a problem. The Battery in Atlanta, the Metroplex down there in Arlington and Texas and in Dallas rather. There's population around those places. I don't understand. Never mind. But
I would almost say this being seasonal. It's only going to be good during football season.
That's it.
Yep. And so I don't understand what there's the gain on this besides, he's making a stamp on his stay here, but how's that?
Heupel's Razor says the following. Heupel's Razor says the following. Danny is improving. Who's back from a 10-minute misconduct, by the way. Danny's improving our experience with this entertainment district. There'll be more places to eat and hang out around the stadium, not to mention more parking with better traffic flow. Now, that's the one thing I'm going to have to disagree with. First of all, there's not going to be more parking. There's 600 less spots.
And more traffic flow.
And the more traffic flow thing, Danny White has proven one thing to me. It's that he is not an engineering guy. He about got people killed last year before the Georgia game. No offense to him. But people about got trampled due to his handiwork.
Trampled. They clogged it up for
for no reason. They fix something. They fix something that wasn't broken, which is kind of what they're doing here. But again, I'm going to say this. I don't understand this deal. I don't understand this deal, but maybe I'm missing the boat.
Seems like you're wasting money because I don't think they're going to the net is not going to come out. Well, because you just said it's seasonal. I don't understand how they're going to gain from this.
I don't
seen that movie. There's a movie called Burlesque, and it's talking about air rights.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you ever heard the thing air rights, but that you're building a high-rise hotel, and you're going to block the view of the beauty of Neyland Stadium. And so, I mean, not that they can stop it, but something I don't understand how we've not went on a rant like what was it? Shiano Sunday.
Yeah, Brian's telling me that. I just think that at the end of it all, the entertainment district is very interesting because, again, I said this yesterday. The Walmart had a location affixed to UT's campus, and it didn't work.
It didn't work. No, it went out quick.
Randy Burleson is pretty good at what he does. Okay, got out of that same University Commons area, and he built like a huge futuristic sports bar in there, and he got out of there. So I just don't understand the thought here because that's in a part of campus that's extremely hard for students to get to.
It's hard to get to, hard to get out of. I think this is a terrible idea.
Yep.
That's just my thought.
Thank you, my man. Good talking to you. And listen, the Battery is a very cool thing, but the Battery has all kinds of housing right on top of it. And it's upscale. It's an upscale place. I mean, what the Braves did there is a no-brainer. From where they were, the neighborhood where they were, that whole deal where it was, to moving to suburbia, have somebody building the building for you, all that made sense. But again, I'm back to this. You're building for-profit businesses on land-grant universities. Who owns the land? Something we never stop and ask. Who owns the land? Don't we own that land? I mean, I'm just asking for a friend. And here's another thing.
They have to get all kinds of approval from state, from Nashville, though.
Here's the other thing. Here's the other thing.
Cut the tape.
I would ask the Board of Trustees this. And you all got to ask yourselves this when you go in and vote on this next week. Does the University of Tennessee exist to serve the athletic program, or does the athletic program exist in service of the university? Because I sometimes wonder what we're doing. Anybody else have that thought? And I work in sports. I love sports. I'm a sports degenerate. I love sports. I see the value of sports. But question for you. Does the University of Tennessee exist in service of the sports, or do the sports exist in service of the university? Now, the way some of you think, I know what the answer to that is. You think it's the University of the Volunteers. It's just such an odd deal, man. And Danny, I'll say this to you. Your football coach right now is fledgling. Your women's basketball coach you hired is fledgling. The baseball hire, I wouldn't exactly call red hot. I mean, what are we doing? Shouldn't we be more focused on trying to get those situations right? And instead of taking our time and our resources on some commercial real estate scheme, which is what we're talking about here, a commercial real estate scheme. I mean, you got one sport right now that's competing literally at the top of the deal. These people, their love language is building buildings. It's all they understand. These athletic directors. Oh, man. All right, we come back on the other side. But we want to build these places that serve frozen food and, goods made in China. No offense. No offense. We'll continue with more on the other side after this.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Big news, Basilio family. Get ready because the 2026 Knoxville real estate market is officially shifting into high gear. All signs are pointing toward a record-breaking year, and the energy across East Tennessee is absolutely electric right now. Whether you've been dreaming of finding that next home, looking to capitalize on your current equity, or ready to dive into the investment world, the timing has never been better. Having a game plan is the key to winning in this fast-paced market, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, Jennifer Morris, at 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Got a plumbing or HVAC problem at home? Whether it's an AC that won't cool, a furnace acting up, a clogged drain, or a water heater problem, Pipe Wrench Home Services is ready to help. Right now, when you schedule any HVAC or plumbing repair, your service fee is waived with the completed repair. That means expert help fast without the extra cost just to show up. Our certified technicians will quickly diagnose the issue and provide reliable solutions to make your home comfortable again. And with our same-day service guarantee, you won't be left waiting when help matters most. For more than 20 years, homeowners across Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and surrounding communities have trusted Pipe Wrench Home Services for dependable comfort. Schedule your repair today at pipewrench.com. Same-day service guaranteed, or the visit is free. Service fee waived with completed HVAC or plumbing repair. Restrictions apply. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm going to hop online and I'm going to get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama's Easy approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols.
Chilio here, and my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's national award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from Bing. Online at carnesmotor.com. Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company.
TB back with you, 865-200-5402. I'm making peace with the Danny Dollars district, Here's my thing. I'm not going to sit here and beat on it and make us think it's because it's tiring, and I don't want to bore people. I'll be really honest with you. And it's going to happen anyway, so it is what it is, and Randy Boyd wants it to happen, and Donde Plama wanted it to happen, and not everything that Danny White does is bad. He's not going to be a target of what we're doing here. He does a lot of good things. He's a smart guy. He's done a lot of smart things. I just think it's interesting that his football coach is kind of, how do we put this in kind terms here? He's a little teetering. He's a little on the teetering side. I know some people don't want to hear that, but he a little in the 6'7" range right now. Like 6'7", 6'7", 6'7". And by the way, I didn't do it. And look, I like the guy. But here's the deal with these athletic directors. I could see a world where this thing kind of falls in on Heupel. And then if it falls in, this year a little bit on Heupel, who it also falls in on? The guy who's ripped our garage apart and has a big, huge project, who's all of a sudden going to be on the hot seat himself. People say, well, Tony, that couldn't happen. The hell it couldn't. Yes, it could. What happened to the guy at LSU last year who was safe? Their athletic director. Or the guy at Alabama. Or the guy at Auburn. Or the guy at Florida. And the list goes on and on and on. Truth is, these athletic directors, you know who they're tied to? They're tied to their football coaches. Oh, man. But not everything that Danny White does is bad. Danny does a lot of great things.
He's a really smart guy. He's made a lot of great improvements to Neyland Stadium. He's made a lot of good decisions. And he's been very good on the revenue side. I don't like his methods. I don't like his interpersonal stuff, but hey, he ain't me, and I'm not him. He would look at me and go, "Look at you, dude. You're like you got a Tennessee, a Nashville Predator toboggan on. It's May the 1st. You're wearing a ratty Philadelphia Eagles shirt. You're doing a show in your basement. Who the hell cares about you?" But he reads my blog every day. So I guess he cares about me. But the point is, I'm not going to turn him into a target. I'm rooting for him. He's the athletic director of my alma mater. That's the point here. That's the point here. And I'm secure in myself to make fun of myself and say that I get emotional from time to time. Like Berkey just came on here an hour ago and was having fun with me. But this is a guy that about got people killed last year before the Georgia game. And I'm not trying to be prone to hyperbole here. And his managing of the traffic around our stadiums the last couple of years, including the parking at baseball games. And Danny, I hope you're listening. It's been disastrous. But I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt with this entertainment district. I really am. And I'm not going to sit here and I'm going to make fun of it. So I better not say that into the microphone. I'm not going to turn him into a target. Not everything Danny White does is bad. It's just not. It's just not. He does a lot of good things, and he's a smart guy. But here's a question for you. Is he going to be here in 10 years? Is Randy Boyd going to be here in 10 years? Is Donnie Plowman going? Because what they're getting ready to do, and again, I'm just going to ask this question. Does the University of Tennessee exist in service of the athletic program, or does the athletic program exist in service of the University of Tennessee? You know? Is that where we are? People are accusing me, Brian, now of glazing Danny White. Am I glazing Danny White, Brian?
Danny is in a position that is open game for criticism and praise at the same time when both are warranted.
Immense Ankle says, Danny didn't read your blog. Your website is so horribly put together that he wouldn't be able to find it. Well, that made you feel better. Unfortunately, you're a commenter in my realm, which means, well, one of us has the power of the button. But I let you breathe, Immense Ankle, because you get a seat at the table. Here's my thing. Shouldn't you be fixing your football program first and then worrying about building buildings? We're in the NIL era, man. I would have thought the days of building the buildings, because the kids don't care about the buildings. You could walk your next prospective quarterback over there and show them what you're doing, and they're going to go, okay, where's my bag? Where's my bag? That's the reality of it. And Heupel's Razor, he and I agree on something. The best fan experience is winning games, Danny. You want your fans to have a great experience? Fix the football program. Get more active in the transfer portal with your football coach. Quit running scared of the NCAA because Rick Barnes isn't. Quit worrying about that stupid, and you verbalized this, I didn't, that stupid whatever it is, Publishers Clearinghouse. Ed McMahon ain't walking back through that door. But let's go back to our phones because we're doing a star search here. And I'm just, I could just see it now. They built something in their little Quonset hut there, some little burger place, and they put like it shows you the price of what you're getting, and then it says French fries $9, $2 service charge that goes for the NIL. I mean, that's where we're heading here. And there's no end to it. There's no end. But not everything Danny White does is bad, and not everything he does. I think he's been a very good athletic director, but he just, for whatever reason, doesn't have anybody around him that will say, that's not a good idea. And I've found that mystifying during his tenure here. Hello and welcome in. You are on the air.
Hey, Tony B. B-Auto Muppet. You like that?
Not really.
Oh, well, you said it in the chat the other day. It's Zach from E-Town. This is a stain. It's just I see everything fading away. Just like the Strip, the places we used to be able to hang out. Basically, you said it. I typed it. It's the Battery. We're moving towards private equity funding, or maybe athletic departments being owned by private equity firms. They're just looking for money, and there's just a goblet full of money right there for the taking.
What's interesting is the Big 12 just did a private equity deal, up to $30 million per school. But here's what you're doing when you get involved with private equity. They're not giving you $30 million a year just to hang out with you and hold your hands. They want ownership stake in something. This is part of somebody's portfolio somewhere along the line. And again, I'm going to ask this question because if you start doing what the Big 12's doing, and I ask the Big 12, I ask anybody that's an Oklahoma State fan, any fans, does your athletic programs exist in service of the school, or does the school exist in service of the athletic programs? And what are you doing getting involved with private equity firms in major college athletics? What are we doing?
I mean, I honestly don't believe that they exist for either one. I mean, not to get too crazy, but like they right now they exist to serve capital, and that's where there's so much. One of the few areas in society we have where we're not at each other's throats is sports. We all, regardless of our creeds and beliefs and backgrounds, we all come together to root for this.
Yep.
This thing on Saturday. Yep. And did they take that? I mean, once that eliminated and totally privatized and sold off into a portfolio.
Yep.
It becomes more unattainable. I mean, these things are becoming more unattainable. We cannot deny that.
Oh no, they've cut. When my first experience in Neyland Stadium was in the mid '80s, and what I loved about sport back then was that it was a confluence of different people of different races, creeds, and socioeconomic backgrounds that came together for a common cause and put aside their differences for that day. There was no Republican, Democrat. There was no right wing, left wing. We were all on the same wing. You know what I mean? And that's what's so neat about the experience of rooting for your team. And it's a community-based thing born out of, it's just a magical thing. But now the socioeconomic piece, I'm serious now. One of the things that Danny ought to put in that entertainment district is he ought to put like a payday loan place there. So people, when they're on their way to purchase their season tickets, can stop in there and get a 25%. If he thinks about it, the economics of that, you get a loan at 28 or 29%, a predatory loan. No offense to the predatory loan people, but that's what y'all are doing. And if you can put your head on the pillow at night, more power to you, brother. More power to you. But that's where we're heading here, Zachy.
Oh, yeah, it serves neither the fans nor the school. It seems like it's breaking off into its own little area, and it's it's almost like Jonathan Swiftian in its scope, like a modest proposal, like you said, taking a payday loan to go see the Vols and LSU, or and like you said, it's modeled after the Battery, which is a totally private enterprise. This is stuff that we pay for. I mean, we ostensibly pay for this university.
Yep. And Danny White's walled off. They've created a situation where he doesn't care. He doesn't even say hello to his employees, which he told you. It's just how he manages. It's kind of how and listen, I'm not going to target the guy because he's done a lot of good things, but I just don't know how they let him get away with some of the stuff he's gotten away with. I mean, he's flexing big time here. That hotel, those renderings of that hotel, that cannot be true. That it's going to supersede Neyland Stadium. It's going to be way above Neyland Stadium. Like, what are we doing?
I mean, I've been to all but one of the SEC stadiums.
Yes,
Knoxville has by far the most scenic, the most beautiful mix of natural and man-made, with the city with the city in the background, the skyline, and then the river, and then it looks like this hotel is just going to be a big middle finger. I mean, they should just call it. It's kind of shaped like a middle finger.
Why don't they shape it? Yeah. Why don't they? And the panels on it look like something out of Dubai or something. The paneling on it. I hope that's not what they're going to do, because how do I put this? That's ugly. And I know a thing or two about ugly. I get to experience that in the mirror. Or right now when I'm looking at myself on the YouTube. I'm not exactly what they call nice looking.
Yeah.
But I'm hot. But I'm somehow hot.
You're a fine looking man. Don't let anybody tell you.
You're a good man, brother. And you know what? When we put instruments in our hand to make them sing, Zach, somehow we become better looking.
That's right. Everybody loves us. All right.
You're the man. Thank you, babe. I listen, I'm not going to sit here and every little thing Danny White does pick on him, because I'm rooting for him. I've never done that. I call things. One thing about doing this show and any show is if you get too far into the weeds of everything's bad, why the hell would I listen to that? You're not an honest broker at that point. That baseball stadium they built is absolutely gorgeous. Danny White did an incredible job on that. Brian, you and I will agree on that. That's an gorgeous structure.
I love the new third level. I can get lost in there. It's so beautiful.
It's beautiful.
So comfortable.
So comfortable. Brian's been in the upper level seat. It's just a gorgeous, beautiful place. What they've done in that stadium is utterly outstanding. The changes they've made, some of the changes to Neyland Stadium are wonderful. And it needed to be done to modernize it and still keep it looking historic and all that. The renderings of that hotel, it's just my opinion. And Bob Baskerville's right. And again, I'm going to ask you another question that we need to have a conversation in Big Orange Country about. And I want the Board of Trustee members, you need to contact them and say, does the university exist in service of the athletic department, or does the athletic department exist in service of the university? Because if it's the former, why in the hell are we building this stuff on our campus when we have a city around us with business owners that are local, where we're driving a local economy? The folks downtown, Randy Boyd in the baseball stadium, Jig and Reel, a business he owns down there. What are we doing? Why are we wanting to compete with all that foot traffic, the people in Market Square that own local businesses and all these great local shops we have? And I mean, isn't this our economy, Danny White? I'm just asking for a friend. I don't know. I don't know. Again, I'm going to say this. If that hotel looks anything close to the way it looks in terms of scale with Neyland Stadium, that can't be right.
The core of every university is to serve local people, right?
To serve your citizenry. I thought it's a land grant university, but oh well. Back to our phones. 865-200-5402. I mean, Danny wants to put Turkey Creek next to Neyland Stadium. And you're going to get 600 less spots, according to Adam Sparks, because who did the math? But that's okay. Danny likes to, fudge the numbers. Danny's got a pretend waiting list for a 6-5 football team this year, projected. Of 30,000 people. Does anybody believe that? And again, I'm not going to target the guy. It's not what we're doing here. Does anybody believe we have a waiting list of 30,000 people? I mean, what in the world? And why would you even say that out loud if you didn't think the fans of this place, and if you call over there right now and you say to them, I want to buy season tickets, you know what they'll say to you? If you pay this price, you jump to the front of the line. Now, wait a second here. I thought you had a waiting list of 30,000. Don't 30,000 people get an opportunity to buy those tickets before me? By the way, it's not 6-5 anymore. We're playing 12 games now. So whatever that number adds up to, 6-6, 7-5, 8-4. I mean, what's top of the mark number? What's the top of the mark number? 8-4?
Probably the absolute ceiling would be 9-3 if everything just went. They got all the breaks.
Then what is Danny?
All the bounces.
Danny White wants to win championships. Why are we building buildings? 9-3 is not going to win a championship. I just don't understand. Michael Stipe, you can't get there from here. It's a great little jam. It's got an open E chord. It's all played on the open with the open strings. Peter Buck, very cool. Danny, you can't get there from here, brah. What are you doing, man? And why are we? I mean, what are we going to do? Bring like Paris Hilton in or Perez Hilton? Like, what are we doing? We're going to bring the hotel illness on our campus? What are we doing? Black Crows. Let's go back to the phones. My brain's firing on all synapses today. Must be some good cannabis, which I haven't tried it, but I mean, not since I was 19. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hi, Tony. It's Holly Spate.
Holly, welcome in.
Well, you know me. I dig deep on some stuff. First of all, you are handsome, and you forgot to say the most important point. You're Italian. Ooh. Don't ever forget how much that leverage helps. So
you mean with the opposite sex? Is that what you're talking about, Holly?
Absolutely. Oh. Absolutely. So just remember that. Okay. So I, of course, am calling about Dannyland, and I don't want to be so negative. I want to be excited about this, but I am not at present. So been listening, been looking, been reading. And so last night I kind of dug deep on who's behind it and tried to see what I could find on the internet. And the biggest thing I found was the model of these people is the battery at the Atlanta Braves Stadium. So I thought, okay, I'm going to look at the Atlanta Braves battery outfit winners. And there were actually financials. There was a P&L for last year and all that. So I got to looking at that and wanted to look at the store. So here's just a brief thing I came up with. I'll try to make it brief. Okay, so they have 75 acres. So, we're landlocked and waterlocked. So, there's obviously a lot of difference that's going to be had if they do the entertainment district. But on the P&Ls, you're not going to believe this. The Battery makes more money, brought in more money, gross money, than the entire Braves organization as of last year. As in ticket sales and all of that stuff. The Battery itself actually exceeded what just the Braves brought in. Now, they own the Battery, but if you look at them, they're almost equal, but the Battery exceeded what the Braves, that whole entire huge organization.
Hey, Holly, is the housing projects around it part of the Battery? Yes.
Well, some are and some aren't.
And the shops.
And now, so what the deal is in the Battery is, and this makes sense for Dannyland to me, is they have all these, of course, it's a little different because Atlanta Braves are a private organization. Yeah. But they partner with all these different organizations.
Holly, hold your thought, because I want to unpack this. This is interesting stuff. Berkey got very wordy, and I got to get one in here. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care. I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Tony Basilio here, and I got the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance 2026. Chad, do you believe we've made it?
Boys and girls teams start off the new year at big national event showcases. We got our younger kids training indoors and doing a lot of things to get better. So we're excited about what the future holds.
Chad, I hear the juice behind you. I hear the kids. Your program reaches throughout East Tennessee. If folks want to get involved, what's the advice?
We're easy to get in touch with. We offer players at all ages, all levels, all experience. We have a program for all of our kids that we have, and we're excited for anyone to join us.
And even some Lady Vols as well. Several college players all over the country, yes?
Absolutely. We had a lot of girls that we were able to watch play in the NCAA tournament. A lot of our former players made big runs through the tournament. We're so excited for them.
Growing the beautiful game. In this, the year of the World Cup in North America, celebrate the beautiful game. Get your child involved. FCAllianceKnox.org. That's FCAllianceKnox.org. And Chad, thank you, man. Keep growing the beautiful game.
Absolutely, Tony, and thank you very much.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
TB, back with you. We're just kind of doing today what the media should be doing, I think, is sort of the point as we welcome you back. And we'll continue to do that in our little corner. But the playbook with William Patterson's on the way next. And he's going to break it down scientifically for you. Continue to talk about the basketball recruiting and maybe even get into this a little bit, as well as a great sports weekend in front of us. Brian Hartman, Celtics could just be in trouble. They look kind of mid to me, like the mid cats out there. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a great weekend. We'll stay here and continue to kick it around in our corner of the world.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Back with you, 865-200-5402. Amen Sankel says Calhoun's does not want those restaurants to be built. Hey, Amen Sankel, Calhoun's on the River is the busiest restaurant in Knoxville, has been for years. It survived the steakhouse everybody told them was going to kill them. That's up there. It's survived when they built their restaurant at the Riverboat that everybody thought was going to kill them. And bring Holly back in here. Somebody just brought up a great point. 600 less parking spaces in what used to be G10. Plus, where are the people that are going to stay in this hotel going to park? On a university that already has no parking. That is a great thought. Somebody had a great thought. So, Holly, get back in here. You're breaking it down scientifically on the battery, and I appreciate your patience.
Well, so back to the battery, I looked at the mix of businesses they have there, and if you kind of have to look at these things as like an old timey mall. You know, you've got to have anchor stores,
yep,
and then smaller stores and businesses. And the anchor store at the battery is a 50,000 square foot Braves swag. Mm-hmm. You know, everything Braves you can buy, and it's huge and it's beautiful and well done. Then they have a few boutiques, believe it or not, non-sports clothes, and they're not doing well. They're the only things that business-wise there have really gone out of business. But then the interesting thing was they have a lot of fast food, you know, your typical, you know, pizza, Mexican, all that, but none of them are name brands. You know, none of them are name brands whatsoever. And it made me think maybe they are doing that. They're partnering with some of these huge companies like, the big food service company, I guess it does UT and does a lot of others. And they create their own pizza brand like Tony's Pizza and Holly's Tacos. And then they use that in their little entities, but I didn't see anything. I think there was maybe one thing that was a national brand that everybody would recognize. And then, of course, they have all the sports bars and all of that. But I keep going back to the fact that they've got the 9 million people draw. Well, we don't. There's no way. And the other question I have, since we're a land grant school with land grant property, how can any of these entities serve anything other than beer? Can they not? Because isn't it correct? And I certainly don't know the legal stuff, but I know that back in my day, and I think it's still the same way, anywhere you had hard liquor, anywhere you had to hide it on campus.
Yep.
Okay, so then that means that's a huge, huge amount of revenue loss right there.
Yes.
And so I was looking at the rendering and all, and I have to say, I think that the university and maybe Danny's people are looking at the fact that they can, they partner with all this, and mainly the risk is on everybody else because they've, Danny's got the land, and as long as it follows the land grant rules and regulations, everything else has to be taken care of. I looked at the hotel. They don't have, I didn't look at the rendering, but I looked at the people behind the hotel and looked at the other stuff they do around the country. It is not a Hilton. It's not any, name brand. It's just a little private boutique thing. And they do a lot of one and done unique stuff. So I don't know about that, but that's probably over my head. I think that the rendering of the hotel that's floating around, I think I heard or read or saw a different rendering where they've shortened it a little bit. So it's not quite as tall. And I think that is a very, very, this thing's going to happen. I don't like it, but it's going to happen.
Sure it is.
And I think that the important thing is for people to express the things that are really near and dear to their heart. And one thing I think is near and dear to all of our hearts is the fact that you don't mess up the view. You don't, you add things to enhance. You don't cover up and take away the beautiful historical things. Who would knock down Ayers Hall? You just don't do those kind of things. Now, I know that, by the way, I'm going to put my name in. I want to buy one of the condos that supposedly they're building, and I want my view to be of the sanitation plant.
By the way,
I'm going to ask for that one especially.
Where is the parking going to come from for the condos?
Well,
if we're losing 600 spots in G10 on a campus that's already, and a lot of kids use the G10 lot to park, a lot of students. How do we park people that are already in the hotel? I know Danny don't want people asking those questions. Oh, they're going to use those spots. So what about?
They're going to use a percentage of those spots. That's going to go.
That doesn't make any sense.
They're going to lease so many spaces to that hotel, whatever the company is, for spots for their guests.
Yes.
And I suspect when they sell the condos, they'll do the same thing. You get one spot or two spots, probably just one spot given the situation. Along with your condo, you get a spot. And then so that'll take away some more. And then the other spots, of course, are for parking for students and everything. And then on game days, those will be sold out to people like they are now.
Yep.
And you buy all that. And so, all that revenue, that's revenue coming in. And then I was thinking about this, the other thing that's going to happen is there's bridges, that go over directly to Neyland. And they'll be doing those bridges, which that's not a bad thing, I don't think. But this is all, I think this is just phase one of a very, very long-term project, such as, they've got to have access to Neyland in an easy way for the football games, but it's not about football games. It's about entertainment. It's about doing mega concerts for mega acts that need something more than Thompson Bowling. Thompson Bowling can handle lots of acts, but
By the way, the show they're doing right now, the Luke Combs show, is the sales are brutal for it. They're going to get soaked on that. Somebody's going to get soaked on it.
And it's a shame that it's so expensive. I tried to go to a Morgan Wallen concert, and I about died. I mean, I was like, I love you, but I don't love you that much.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but like Neyland, these mega acts, I think probably, I don't know, Morgan Wallen's one of them because he's already done one there. But, like back years ago when Michael Jackson, I don't know if you remember when he was at Neyland. And, I mean, they're planning on that for there to be these massive entertainment opportunities, big opportunities to continue and increase opportunities at, what's it called? Thompson Bowling.
Yep.
And my worry about it is I just don't see how the revenue is going to come in, like it does. I mean, if they're looking at it on the model that the Battery is, and I know the Battery's different, if they're looking at it and the numbers financially, I mean, it blew my mind that the Battery made more money than the rest of the organization, the Braves organization.
Holly, have you ever been down there you ever been to a Braves game?
I haven't been to a game. I've been down nearby, but I've never been in the
There's
stadium.
literally, while a game's going on, there's literally 5,000 people outside partying, hanging out, doing their thing.
Yeah.
Because they're in the middle of a young urban center with kids with expendable income that are, unattached, somewhere between 25 and 35, or with young families, and they have bands outside playing. And again, they have room. They put it on a complex that has room and parking.
And they have 9 million bodies they can draw from every day.
Thank you. And we're putting this in a town that's got about 400,000 people and maybe 1 million around. I just don't, the math, and listen, I've only been in business for 32 years here. I'm telling you right now that whatever they're attempting to do does not add up, and it's not going to work. And where are people going to park? Because it's, again, I'm back to this. And Holly, I thank you for the call. It's called location, and location. Danny White knows an awful lot, but he doesn't know jack shit about what they're getting ready to do. Okay? He needs to stick to extorting money from rich boosters. And look, I'm not going to target the guy. I told you that. He does a lot of nice things. The stadium they built at UT is a nice stadium. But you know what a complaint we're hearing about the baseball stadium that's a 7,000 seat capacity, Brian, on this show, is parking issues on the campus. Parking issues for the baseball stadium. If you build that high-rise hotel that people are going to be staying in the night before games, where are all these people going to park for football games? Just asking for a friend. That just occurred to me. Let's go back to our phones. And by the way, I hear this concert they're doing, the tickets are very soft on it. So, and I don't tell anybody, what to like musically or what not to like, or people are like, well, I thought you were for concerts. I love music. I don't know if our football stadium is supposed to be a music venue. I mean, to me, a music venue in Knoxville is the Tennessee Theater, where we're going to be playing Sunday. We're going to be playing the annex of that. I got a busy weekend playing music, but we're going to be the first act that plays there. They're opening an annex, which is very cool. I'm very excited about that. But for the life of me, and this is just me, I don't understand the need for this. And the Battery is in a highly populated area. It's in a happening area. This place where they're going to build this is literally next to the railroad track. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? Somebody asked Brian, what's going to happen tonight? What do you think happens tonight, Brian? Game 1. Do the Vols get off on the good foot? And do we see it pay off switching starting pitchers and putting our ace back on Friday nights, Brian, who's now reclaimed a spot on that rotation? And then are they going to get paid back by, or is it a bad move to take your Sunday starter who's been great on Sunday and moving him to Saturday?
I want to call for a sweep.
All right. I'll take
They're going to sweep them.
I'll take 2 out of 3.
I'd take 2 out of 3, but I think they're going to sweep them.
Somebody said the Eagles are playing Vanderbilt Stadium this month. Look, Vanderbilt makes all the sense in the world to be using their venues. First of all, it's a music city. Secondly, there's a lot more ways to get to that stadium. Thirdly, it's a smaller venue. Sing and act in a 100,000 seat stadium. I mean, I don't know. If I wanted to watch something on television, you know what I would do? And I'm not telling anybody what to do or how to spend their money. But I think I would stay at home and watch it on television because that's what you're doing. Now, I will say the visuals when Taylor Swift played Nashville and they played in the driving rain was pretty cool. Something like that, where it's a one-off deal and you're in a driving rainstorm in the middle of the summer and the act continues to play through it and embrace it is pretty darn cool. Pretty darn cool. Great entertainer. Yeah, a buddy of mine saw U2 down at Vanderbilt in 2012 and said it was a religious experience. I get that. I get that. Let's go back to the phones. Yeah, the Vince Gill Eagles. Yeah, it makes sense. I saw Vince the other night. Vince Gill the other night, because they honored the guy that produced this sung You Are So Beautiful, the Billy Preston tune. Literally made me cry. And he sung the high register to me. He got way on up there. I was just like, he started out with, you are so beautiful. And then boom, 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 boom. Okay, so somebody asked me if I got to meet some of these people. Here's the backstory. Jimmy Woods, who is familiar with these people, listens to the show. He's listening right now. And his lovely daughters and his lovely wife, they're just great people. I mean, these are salt-of-the-earth people. So Jimmy invites me. He says, look, me and my friends are going to go out before the deal, and we're going to eat and hang out. But I got you and your wife 2 tickets for the ceremony where they give them their medals, and you can mingle around with them and hang out with them and meet these people. And Don Felder was there from the Eagles. Dan Huff, who's an incredible guitarist / producer, was there. Leland Sklar, who played on some of my favorite Hall & Oates records that were made in the made in LA in the 70s, like Rich Girl, etc. A lot of the David Foster stuff, the David Foster record that they produced, he was there. Some guys that played on some Steely Dan stuff were there. And I told him I'd rather go to dinner with you guys. Because it's just not my scene to I just wanted to meet and get to know people. Michael McDonald was there. Now, we got up to have breakfast the next day because they put us in the hotel where all the performers were. Yeah, James Taylor's bassist, Lee Sklar, was there. Yes. And he was extremely cool. Extremely, down to earth. Everybody that was around him said he was just so next level. I watched Michael McDonald the next day with his family, and he's just such a normal guy. And I wanted to go up to him and say, Michael, you're like literally one of my musical heroes. Like, I sit in the park and noodle around on your songs. Like, I love you so much, but I didn't. Yeah, I'm going to see George Plaster tomorrow. I'll ask him about that. He's going to be sitting with Laura at the wedding, Griff's wedding. He said, ask Plaster about the time a guy called them pretending to be Michael McDonald and got an interview. That's funny. I just can't say enough good things about that Musicians Hall of Fame. Yesterday, a guy called. He was listening to the show, who had connections with somebody that had contracts with the old Sun Records. And I put those people in touch with the Hall of Fame. You never know who's listening when you talk about things on the air. And she was telling me that the lady whose husband started it, Miss Chambers, Joe Chambers' wife, the late great Joe Chambers, who's a songwriter in his own right, a great musician. These people just have a heart for music. And they saw people in Nashville that were throwing things away. And now they've got things they got things from around the globe. Like Keith Richards is a huge fan of theirs, and they have all kinds of great Rolling Stone stuff in there that you can't touch. Every instrument that you see displayed in that place was played in a recording session and on a record. They have some of Hendrix's guitars. I mean, it's crazy the stuff that's in there. It's crazy the stuff that's in there. Like, I was expecting something a quarter the size of what it is. You could literally spend 5 hours in that place. Anyway, we'll go back to the phones and get a next call in. We'll get as many people in here as humanly possible. I think the Battery and what they do, as a Phillies fan, I'm totally jealous of that. My brother came down from Philly, flew in. We went and saw a Phillies game, I think 2018, when the Battery had just opened. We were completely jealous of what we saw outside. The community of that, night in and night out. And then when the Braves were on the road in the summer, they have bands that go down there and play, and, you know, like local bands, and they hang out and do their thing. That is so cool. But let's go back to the phones. This thing Tennessee's going to do is not the Battery. You know why? Because you don't have a population around it. It's very simple. What about the school students, Tony? Do you know how far the dorms are from Thompson Bowling Arena and over there in the Battery? I mean, do you realize how far that is? So we go back to our phones. The Philadelphia scene compared to the Battery, it's gross. Philly has no atmosphere around their stadiums. Now, they do have 3 stadiums right next to each other. And I guess that's worth something. But as a Philadelphia sports fan who frequents there, as a fan, I'm totally jealous of the setup that the Braves have. And come to think about it, I'm jealous of the Braves organization as well, because they have a great young baseball team, and they grow their own, and they don't have to do what the Phillies do and buy off somebody else's roster. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Man, you know what? I can't believe you, bro.
My man.
I've been listening to you. Man. And I tell you what, Tony B, I understand y'all. Y'all don't never want to come out of the damn 19th century. But that's just going to, Tony B, that place what Danny White is doing right now, and he's going to whip your ass. I just know he be watching your podcast and all that shit. But he's going to whip your ass because you be messing with him.
I'll tell you what.
You be calling him out.
Danny White's got some guns. And he's got a new dye job in his hair, too. So he's going with that Buster Brown look, that old guy Buster Brown. If I had hair, I would do that. What do you think when you see the old white dudes with the brown hair? Are you for that or against that? I want to know right now.
I'm against all that.
Because I get some color. I got eyebrows. I get some color in my eyebrows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to do what you do to keep the dream alive. You know what I'm saying?
Be who you are, man.
Be who you are, brah.
Be who you are.
I love you because you are who you are. Megatron is who he is. Budding 5-star athletes in our midst. Did he make the Catholic team?
Man, they've been asking me for him, but we ain't been to no games because we trying to get in the web, brother. We trying to do web, but yeah, Catholic born. We're gonna go down there and work out with him today. We're gonna work out with him today, but my eye is on Catholic. I mean on a web, but But here's Tony B. And Catholic is a good program, man. They good, but I got to go for the educational purposes. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God! If I had a chance to get my kid a education at either one of those places through athletics, I'd jump at that, no question.
Yeah, no doubt. And like I said, they're both good organizations, but I'm more good on web, man, than anybody else. But listen, man, that's what I remember we was arguing about a couple of months ago about culture. That's going to bring the culture in, man. You got to see us opening up South Knoxville. South Knoxville been closed to everybody for 50 years because of the people of the backwoods out there in Catholic. So, I mean down there in South Knoxville.
Boy, you got Catholic on the brain. Is it Catholic or Webb, dude? You keep saying Catholic.
I don't know, Tony B. They've been
Florida,
trying to talk me into it.
I don't know if you heard this yesterday, but I think what they ought to do is open the entire district.
Yeah.
They ought to bring Sterling Hinton out, who they put in front of everything, and they ought to let him judge a rap-off between you and rapper Andy.
Well,
what are they laughing about in the background? I want to say
that's my buddy. That's my buddy.
I want to say he's giggling. I want to say, Florida, I think he's cracking on you as an artist, man. I think that guy behind me is cracking on you as an artist. Hey, let me tell your buddy. When Florida busted his rhymes on here, Florida's rhymes were on time. They were syncopated. They made sense. And I thought he won the rap off personally. Now the judges that day didn't feel that way. But Florida, I thought you won the rap off.
Well, hell, you had Ron Fuller, the Tennessee stud, and somebody else. Only one was with me was John Adams. But listen, man.
And he's about, never mind.
You got to open that up, bro. Open that up, man. That's going to be nice. I saw that yesterday. That's going to be nice, Tony B. And you can't take nothing away from it. People coming from all over and bringing their parents and their family there, man. What if people don't want to go to the game? What if people just want to sit around and hear the game?
Hey, listen, there's so many parking spaces over there. There'll be 300 less parking spaces to enjoy with a hotel affixed to it. Is Danny going to teleport these people into the hotel, Brian? How do we get into the hotel? We teleporting? No offense to the guy. I don't understand the legit. Adam Sparks told me yesterday they looked into it. And how many less spots are there, Brian? What's the number?
There's like 600 less spots.
All right, that's 600 less cars. That's one less lonely girl. Justin
Bieber. But listen, man, look at the big bridge they're building over there. It's going to walk people over there from South Knoxville. Look at everything that's coming. Y'all got to get out of the 19th century, brother.
Florida,
maybe we can mollywalk them over there.
Florida, you're a good man.
I'm just telling you, Tony B. Listen, hey man, just think of what it's going to bring for the people, man. The people getting people together, bro. Y'all trying to keep people apart, and we want to bring people together.
But they've already been brought together for decades and decades.
Decades and decades.
Without it.
Come on, no, people.
Hey, B, you're wrong, B. You're wrong, B. You know
Lee
why?
Woodson says, come on, Tony, park across the river and swim over.
Yeah.
Smile on your brother, everybody get together. That's a good little jam right there. Try to love one another right now, Florida.
Maybe he can do some kind of a skyline thing or some kind of a, what is that, those things, zip line.
Zip line across. Hey, Florida, would you or walk on the train track?
Shit, I ain't
try to beat
the
train.
Nowhere, bro.
You ain't doing that. But you're afraid of heights.
I gotta ask you something.
You're afraid of Florida. You're afraid. Florida. You afraid of heights?
Yeah.
Come on, people now.
Yeah,
Smile on
but
your brother.
Let me ask you and be
Sing that to me. Sing me a little version of that.
I like the blackout. I like the blackout and I like the smoky gray. Y'all want to say that traditional ass white and orange and white bullshit?
Well, I'm a white guy. Man. I'm a white guy.
Come on now.
I'm white.
No.
What do you want me to say? I'm a white dude.
No, do not have that. Put that shit. That was happening back in General Neely's time.
I'm Florida. I'm a white dude. Florida. I'm a white dude. What do you want me to say?
Listen, but you just that orange and white shit go, and you bring that smoky gray, you bring that
Florida.
black,
I will say this about the smoke. I'll say that about the smoky gray. I wouldn't wear those hang on. I wouldn't wear those damn things for pajamas. Okay, Florida. I wouldn't wear those damn things for pajamas.
That's hype, Tony B. And you know what? Because y'all want to stay in the 19th century, and you want that non-traditional ass white
smoky
and orange
gray.
And all
Florida, smoky gray blows, and I understand why you're a Florida fan now because they got the ugliest ass colors in the world.
Hey. When you come up to my podcast,
hey, they got redneck.
Come up to my podcast.
I'd love to be a guest on your podcast. I posted on my website. We'll blow you up.
Come on, do it. Come on up there and just you can do your podcast from there, and we just sit around and have smoke cigars and do whatever you want to do, Tony B.
Florida. Those black uniforms were okay. I'll give you that.
Hard. They're
hard. Smoky gray. I hate the baseball team when they wear that. Brian, do you like those gray uniforms the baseball team wears?
No, I'm not wild about that. I'm not wild about that at all.
Why are they wearing Butch Jones uniforms, man? What are we doing?
Oh my God!
That's what they are.
Butch Jones, man. Butch Jones he's like what's the dude with the eyebrows? He didn't mean nothing, man. Y'all was just going through a bad time.
He's a fraud.
Let it go, bro.
This guy's a fraud.
Let it go. What Heupel is doing now is great, bro. Stop it. You bringing the people in, you bringing the culture in. What else you want?
So Florida, if you had your way, design Tennessee's uniform for me right now. If you could just redesign it.
That black and that black and that orange.
Right.
That's my birthday. Halloween is my birthday. Orange and black.
Is it really your birthday, Florida?
Yes, sir. Halloween is my birthday, October 31st,
and you ought to
1965.
Really? You and I are the same age. You ought to come over and trick or treat with us.
Man, I will, man. I come down. I thought you was at Calhoun today. I was gonna come down there.
Damn it! I'm down there next week for the Texas game.
Okay, well, I'll be down there next week. My son asked me to come down there. He wanted to come down there.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring him down there next Friday.
Florida, you're the man. I appreciate you. Brian, do you know what the Flyers, speaking of the orange and black, do you know what the Flyers slogan is this year? Have I told you this?
No, I have not.
Well, why don't you go ahead and guess, Bryce, since with the last coach we were just talking about. And that's how my mind works.
Oh, it's something about bricks.
Go ahead. Try it.
It's brick by brick.
That's exactly
it's not
right.
brick, not the same.
No, it is brick by brick.
Oh Lord!
I heard one of the Flyer.
Well, it's worked so far.
Well, one of the Flyer podcasters reminded me and said it's brick by brick, and I went, "Oh my gosh!" And somebody said, "Hey, Basilio, Butch Jones was like 10 years ago." I realize that, but Butch Jones gifted us smoky gay uniforms. I'm sorry, I didn't do it. Before him, we didn't know that gray was a color that we found in our canon that was buried in a coffee can in upstate New York, along with some sacred vault scriptures. I mean, what do you want? What are we doing? Again, we went all that time without this entertainment district. We went all that time without smoky gray. I hate that stuff. No offense. Let's go back to the phones. So Florida shares a birthday with Joshy Boy? Wow. Somebody said they saw the Righteous Brothers. Man, Nashville, I'm so jealous of Nashville. I heard some of those people talking about like some of the standing gigs down there in the city and just how much music's around them, and it's wild, man. But the musicians down there, truthfully, get paid nothing. Yep, the local musicians, the folks, the guys and gals on the ground that are trying to make it and get discovered, but they're world class. There's so many world class, unbelievable players and singers all around. The two people they had singing last night, or the other night, This guy named Buck Johnston, he sung More Than a Feeling by Boston and hit every freaking note, including the high thing at the end. He was way up there. I was going, oh my Rona me. So we'll go back to our phones. And Kiffin's Rec Lexus has a good point, Bri. Imagine what the Adidas Smoky Grays are going to look like. So I'm just a man. I'm a takesman. I'm a man of opinion. I mean, look at the way I'm dressed.
Go back to 2014 and 2013. You'll see Adidas Smoky Gray.
I'm no
because
fashion
they were Adidas
plate.
then.
I'm no fashion plate. And Laura the other day, she goes, I was dressing at the hotel to go down to the Hall of Fame. She said, Tony, those with the she looked at me and she said, those pants and that shirt, they don't match. What are you doing? You're not going to go out looking like that. I said, well, you'd let me go out. She goes, well, I wouldn't be with you. Yeah, I'd let you go to Calhoun's looking like that on a Friday, but I wouldn't be with you. But I'm going to be with you today. So we're dressing like that. My favorite music venue in this city that we've played is the Tennessee Theater. That was crazy, being on the stage and playing. My favorite venue in the city to see a show, probably the Bijou. 800 some odd seats. It's incredible how it sounds in there. You feel like you're back in time. But Sean Webb said that Michael Sweet did his Boston stuff in Pigeon Forge a few weeks back. That Michael Sweet guy is really talented. See, back then, like Stryper, when he sang, all that stuff was way on up there. Those guys would open their mouth and get way on up there. You would think with age you'd lose that some, right? My buddy Daryl Hall's finally lost his voice. That's kind of sad. Daryl, the last couple years, what these acts do, and those of us that play and understand music a little bit, understand what they're doing, most people can't tell. They'll take a tune, and I'll just show you on the guitar. They'll take a tune that's like in C, like right here. Like Kiss on My List is like a minor. Oh, let's. They take that and they key it down, so it's like. You can barely hear it, but he's singing a whole tone down. And some of their songs, what he was doing at the end, they were toning them down like three semitones, sometimes four. To kind of keep the dream alive. I get it. You're 80 years old. You want to keep doing your stuff. But then he did this thing that then he just couldn't sing anymore, which really kind of hurts. But Seymour Joe, who never has anything nice to say about anybody in the chat, said, Tony, keep up your day job. You wounded my soul, Seymour Joe. I want you to know that. I was just trying to show you a little something here. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I love Rick Beato. Amen, Sankle. People ask me, how come you don't play music on your show now? Like music. You know what I mean? Like recorded music, because they would claim everything. They would claim everything. They would take your work as their own. That's what the two big, and Zach was talking about this before, but these private equity firms, like the reason that Daryl Hall and John Oates don't speak to each other is Oates tried to sell their catalog or his portion of it to one of these firms that's now paying these artists millions and millions and millions of dollars. And what are they doing? They're going to everybody and they're saying, we want our cut. And really, they don't even care about the music. They just care about monetizing the music. And so if you'll notice on your favorite shows on YouTube, you're not hearing intro music like you once did, like band music and things like that. And if you are, those people are getting their stuff claimed left and right. And so that's a trade-off. But it's remarkable that and Beato and the Professor of Rock get their stuff claimed all the time. The Beato guy has an attorney that he just on retainer, and he showed 1 week, he opened his phone up and showed it, and in 1 week he had like 75 claims on like 4 shows. And basically they've tried to shut a guy down who's really keeping music alive, unpacking it for future generations, and just loves music, just lives, eats, and breathes and sleeps the joy and the love of music. And see, I love music because it's art that's created, which points back to a creator. And I just think that's a magical thing. And if you think about music, you know, a major chord makes you feel happy. A minor chord makes you feel sad. The difference between the two is one little half note. Those of you that are musically inclined know this, but check this out, y'all. This is an A. A 1, a 3, and a 5. I take that third and I drop it a half step. And what was happy is now sad. Listen. And I color it. Major, minor. Anyway, 865-200-5402. But music has got a magical thing to you. Like, it can be haunting. It can be beautiful. It can be all that at once. You can sing about something that's really happy in a minor key, and it kind of plays at your brain. But Rodney Kraft said, atheists love music too. Hey, Rodney, my God's big enough for that. I don't worry about what you believe in or don't believe in. My God's big enough for everybody, and created you, by the way, brother. So it's cool with me. Let's go back to our phones and get our next call in. Hello and welcome. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony B.
Hey, welcome in. Fabulous.
Remember
fabulous.
I always say every time you go away.
Oh.
That's a great tune.
Oh. How about you knowing Daryl Hall wrote that?
Oh, he did.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, go look up the Hall & Oates version of Every Time You Go Away.
Oh, man.
It'll make your... Because what Paul Young did on that song, which is what we're talking about, he had to take it down a half a step to get it in his key. Daryl Hall, not only did he sing that, but they recorded a version of that with a gospel organ. And that thing, I'd play it for you right now, but I'd get my show claimed and maybe get kicked off the app.
Have you ever watched when they did Live by Request?
Oh, yeah. That was a great show.
That was in New York City. It was really good.
Yep.
You met Oates, didn't you, in Knoxville when he was there?
Yeah, I met both those guys. In fact, Oates, when I ran into Oates, I showed him this record that I have in the other room, which is a bootleg, but it was a bootleg picture disc that I got at like a record convention when they were such things. But John Oates said, yeah, he said, that's unlicensed. He said, you got Daryl Hall to sign that? He said, how did you get Daryl Hall to sign that? He said, he's broken that for people that have put it in front of him because it's something they didn't get paid on, and they got ripped off when they were kids when they made this record. And I said, I went up to Daryl Hall and said, hey, man, you've been a great inspiration of mine, and thank you for sharing your gifts all these years. I know it wasn't easy to get off the ground like you did. A kid out of Pennsylvania, and he went, you're pretty good, man. I'll give you that. I said, well, I meant it. When I meet those people, I say, hey, thank you for putting in the hard work because you've given me a lifetime of enjoyment. You could have easily sat in your room and played music like I do. But you got out there and put yourself out there, shared your gift with others.
Did you meet him at one of his concerts?
Yeah. I met him. I was with my brother-in-law, John. We went to a show at, what's the casino called, Freddie Jack, over there in across the mountain?
I wouldn't have any idea.
No, come on.
I don't know.
The Harris Casino.
Ask Joshy Boy. He'd know.
And they played over there, the Harris Casino.
Oh.
And when I was in there, a guy recognized me, and he was like a high roller at the casino, and he gave me 2 tickets to the show. I went there without tickets.
Oh.
And some real nice guy gave me tickets. Never forget that. He walked right up to the window, and the woman said, "Oh, hey, George." And he said, "Can you give these guys 2 tickets to that show?" And they were like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Wow, that's how much money this dude losing here."
Enough so he can get you free tickets.
I thanked him, said, "Can I buy you something?" He said, "Nah." He said, "I didn't do it for that. Thank you."
Yeah, your Temple boys and your Philly boys. They met at Temple.
Rodney said, "I remember walking into a Boy George concert in Baton Rouge, and all the believers taunted us as evil sinners. Give me a break, TB." Rodney, I'm telling you right now, trust me, I don't judge anybody. I don't care what you do. My, brother, I'm far from perfect. You know that from listening to this show. You do what you're going to do, man.
Oh, I have to go to the altar about every Sunday.
There you go, brother.
And then when I get up, a few hours later, I need to go back.
About 10 seconds. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I ask for forgiveness.
I love me some Boy George. I'll tumble for you. I'll tell you what I like that Boy George did is that song Time. That sounds like a Motown tune. Clock in the Wall. Do you remember Time, Freddie? In time, it could have been so much more. Time is precious, I know.
Yeah.
Were you a Boy George guy?
I remember his music. I wasn't a
big fan of the music.
No,
Good
I like more of the R&B, like Bino, and I like the Commodores, Spinners, Hall Notes, on and on and on. Anyway, you would think, Tony, I know you keep talking about the parking and different. You think they're going to plan for all that? Don't you think they're putting all this money in?
Danny's selling that there's more parking spots with the garage and there's less, so apparently not. And you would think there would have been more planning than when they put 100,000 people in that area, and people about got trampled before the Georgia game, right? I mean, you could say this is a guy that doesn't really have a track record of being trustworthy, especially after what they did at the basketball games with the traffic and even the baseball parking. If anything, Danny White has not earned the benefit of the doubt when it comes to the logistics of this. So I'm going to have to say negative toward that and Danny White with the logistics. Now, will it be a money-making scheme that'll benefit the athletic department? Yes. Will it be at the expense of the student body? Yes. Will it be at the expense of a lot of other people in the community? Yes. No offense.
But don't you think Randy Boyd has to sign off on this?
Yeah, I'm sure they have signed off on it. But
yeah, I mean, he's an experienced businessman. He knows what he's doing.
Last time I checked, he didn't walk on water either. So
yeah, none of us have.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, Tony, on the baseball, what do you think about the pitching? You know, Coons is awful good on Saturday. Do you think it could kind of disrupt things?
Sure, it could. You're gambling when you do that. To me, if it's going right for me and I'm playing better baseball, I wouldn't have done this.
Yeah.
Would you have done it?
I thought it was surprising. I mean, I know the opening day guy hadn't been doing good, but still, your Saturday and Sunday guys have been doing very well. So,
because here's your problem.
Maybe you could have mixed it up with some of the relievers starting, and maybe bring the Friday guy come in as a reliever instead of starting.
Hey, Brian, here's a problem, Brian. What happens if you're 1-1 and the guy on Sunday is the guy that's been leaking oil and you need him to win a series on Sunday? Now all of a sudden you've switched around. Before you had a guy on Sunday that I knew was going to lock it down and we're going to win on Sunday. I've given that up here, Bri.
Maybe the change might do him some good.
Huh?
Maybe he can just sort of take the first two starts and sort of, instead of being the first guy right away, maybe that'll help him.
Yep.
As in coming off, it's like you're coming off the bench.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Would you have brought him off the bench and started somebody else? Brian?
Sunday's going to be,
they started Cam Appenzeller on Tuesday. I would have considered giving him a start.
Taylor said Sunday's going to be Mac and the entire bullpen. Hey, Taylor, you could say that again.
Hopefully they don't walk 10 batters and hit 6 others.
Interesting. When those guys come out there, yeah, we ought to raise some money, like do like a walk-a-thon. We go around for the Texas series, and anytime they go to the bullpen, you know, a quarter from each neighbor for every walk. Is that a cheap shot, Freddie? What do you think?
Not from you, Tony.
I mean, Freddie, the other day when we hit 4 batters and then walk the next guy just to put the cherry on top, you got to admit that was pretty tough to watch.
Yeah, but you know, the lady Valsalpa pitcher was having some struggles, and she's come back now pretty good.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, listen, and it's a sport of finding your groove and losing your groove. It's a lot like the sport my son played, golf. Just when you think you have it figured out. You know what golf's like, Freddie? And all my female listeners, please close your ears, like women. Just when us men think we have it figured out and figured them out, guess what happens? There's another hole in your game. Shane says, I was too young to get it at the time, but man, I played Culture Club nonstop back then. I wore a hair clip to school for rock and roll day, and the kids laughed at me. I just thought Boy George was like Kiss, you know, back then with the makeup. You know, Freddie, the act that fooled me in the 70s was Queen. But they just did that out loud in front of everybody. They called themselves Queen. Freddie Mercury was flamboyantly homosexual. Their music was incredible. Were you a Queen guy, Freddie Jack?
Well, not really, but it's funny. I remember where I was when I heard that he passed away.
Uh-huh.
You know how you remember? I remember where I was when I heard Elvis passed away. It's funny how you remember those things.
Those are icons. I remember where I was the day I found out that Magic Johnson had HIV.
Oh, I knew this guy. He's a white
guy,
too. He cried. It
freaked me out, man.
Yeah. Anyway, Tony, we got we'll have Dollywood. We've got Dollywood. We're going to have Danny Wood, and we've had on certain days we've had when Tony Vitello calls in, we've had Tony Wood. See ya.
Hi.
Hi, you're on the air.
Commandment Muppet.
Hi, you're on the air.
Hey, Tony, it's Bobby. I don't know how to follow that. I just wanted to, if you'll oblige me, Tony, I just want to say thanks to your bunch of your listeners and people in your fan base that have reached out to me this week. It means a lot. I lost my father-in-law a week ago today.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
I really appreciate your fans.
Sorry to hear that, brother.
Reaching out and being so kind.
Sorry to hear that.
Wanted you to know that. As far as the baseball team's concerned, I love what you just said. I don't know if I'd be good. I like that Josh is willing to tinker a little bit with his lineup.
Mm-hmm.
I think you probably agree with the hitting part, but the pitching's been on point. I don't know how you mess with that. I don't understand why he moved Landon Mack in the first place to Fridays. So you had him on Saturdays. He was doing really well. Had maybe one bad game. Move him to Fridays. Has a really bad game against Alabama. I guess technically it's Thursday, but you know what I mean. And then You move him to Sundays now? None of that makes any sense. That's weird. Does he strike you as a guy, Tony, that I hate to use the word lost because he doesn't seem lost because his team's playing pretty well the last 10 games. But just seems like he's figuring it out as he goes. And, and sometimes it's like, what are we doing here, buddy?
Hey, look,
it's working.
He's been an assistant coach and a third base coach for his life. Played the game.
Yeah.
When you wear the
Good
big
player.
hat, hey, listen, when you wear the big hat, it's a different deal. You got to look through different eyes. You're responsible for everything. And I think he's slowly found his way. So
I do too.
In a highly competitive league, by the way. So he's to be commended for that. This thing about how he's won more games than any first-year manager. Look,
stop that. It was already set up for him.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what I don't like.
I hate that. First of all, that's having a loser mentality. Secondly, you better win 30 damn baseball games here. Shit. I mean, that's he's
got the number one recruiting class the last 2 years.
Thank you.
He better win some damn games.
Thank you.
He better win 40 damn games this year.
And
I'm serious about that.
Well, you're exactly right. There could be 10 more wins out there.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's nice to see them figuring it out. I think they're averaging like 11 and a half runs a game the last 8 games or something like that.
Let's go.
I mean, they're starting to hit the baseball. And in this league, I think it's fair to say if you don't score 8 runs, you should not expect to win a baseball game. I think Brian Hartman told me that once.
Yep.
If you don't score 8 runs, you shouldn't expect to win the game. Not in this league. There's too much power. And we that first couple of weeks, man. I mean, what games we did win? We won with smoke and mirrors. But now, pounding the baseball, hitting into opposite field. Your studs are starting to stud up.
Yep.
Levi Clark has. I mean, if he didn't start as awful as he did, he would be in the running for an all SEC type season. He's actually had a very good conference season, in my opinion, and it's nice to see him starting to light up. And once Henry got over his, I was told he had pneumonia. Once he got over that, he started to turn it up. This team can make a whole lot of noise, and I'm telling you right now, if you're a 1 seed and Tennessee doesn't get a regional for some reason, like they don't win enough games, and you're a 1 seed, you don't want Tennessee in your regional.
No. And
Have a good one.
Berkey thinks the Vols could host. First round, he told me. And if you host first round and you get an upset, one thing we've seen about the tournament is it's been very destabilized. A lot of 2s beat 1s, some 3s have beaten some 1s early on. So anything can happen in the tournament when you get there. This Tennessee team, to his point, though, I don't know if I would have done what they did with the pitching deal. I just don't know if I would have done that.
But you also have been pretty much giving yourself no chance to go up 1-0 in a series.
Totally agree. But your idea...
You're always having to win the second and third just to salvage the series.
I like your idea.
It puts more pressure on you.
Hey, Brian, I like your idea. Take Cam Appenzeller, who stretched out, and you've kind of messed his mind all up in relief. Let him start Friday night. You keep the other 2 guys in the same spot. I get what Taylor's saying, though, when he called the other day and said, well, what they've done is they've reoriented this thing for postseason play. True. I grant you that. I really do grant you that. If the Vols get to 16 wins, that'll be one of the great recoveries we've seen. The record going into this weekend, Bri, is?
They're, I believe, 10-11.
So 16 wins from here would connote in your last 9 games,
6-3,
playing 6-3 baseball. Personally, I think I'd sell that. But then again, if you win 3 this weekend, I think I'd buy that. But I don't know where Billy Boy and Harriman is. Billy Boy Wannabe's asking, where's Billy Boy? I don't know. I love Billy Boy. Boney Basilio has entered the hunt in the mix. When I was a kid, I used to send away, I told you this before, but all these sports teams all over the place. One day I'll do show and tell in here and show you my stuff from the 70s when I would send away. But an organization sent me back, I think it was the Sacramento Gold of the old American Soccer League. How many people in Knoxville you think have correspondence from the Sacramento Gold?
Or the Minnesota Kicks.
Or the Minnesota Kicks. Brian's seen it. He's seen
whatever that is.
Brian's seen my Minnesota Kicks stuff. Great logo. 70s were incredible. The artwork, born out of probably a lot of drug use from the artist. But the Philadelphia Fury that were owned by Peter Frampton and Elton John had incredible artwork. By the way, Peter Frampton was there the other night. I mean, Peter Frampton. Huh? A guy was sitting one row behind us and to our right, and Laura and I got up, used the restroom, and we walked back in. I was looking at this guy, and I was thinking, that guy's familiar looking. And I'm like, excuse me, you know, we walked by him. And come to think about it, you know who it was? It was Ricky Skaggs. Ricky Skaggs. I mean, the logos of that North American Soccer League. Brian, what's your favorite logo that you've seen of my buttons in here? What's your favorite button in here? I got buttons on the wall.
Oh, I couldn't even. I like the USFL figures you got. That's my favorites. Those USFL figure sticks or figure, I guess, action figures or whatever they call them.
Yeah, I'm going to do a little show and tell here because Sean just mentioned the Dallas Tornadoes. He said he's a tornado guy. That's their logo. Look at that. That is so damn cool. I can't see straight. The Dallas Tornado. That is a great logo. Really cool logo. Here's my favorite, maybe sports logo, maybe ever from any of these teams. This is New York Cosmos, the team of Pele and Giorgio Canalier and Franz Beckenbauer and all those dudes. I mean, that is cool looking, the New York Cosmos. But anyway, I've got all kinds of like CFL. I've got a Dick the Bruiser thing up here. Big button to him looks like Paulie Joe. I got a whole like a Gordie Howe wall. Brian, you know what a Gordie Howe hat trick is? You ever heard that term? It's a hockey term.
Is that like, yeah, more than 3 goals in the game, or?
It's better than that because he was a wild man. A Gordie Howe hat trick consists of you record a goal, you get an assist, and then you win a fight in the same game. That's the Gordie Howe hat trick. Now, how cool is that?
Maybe somebody on the Hawks got a Gordie Howe hat trick last night.
There you go. Brian, you have anything else left to add? We have 150 people watch us. Please hit the like button. I'd love to have you hit the like button, help us grow. The show's really been growing. We were looking at our download numbers the other day, and you can go download the app either at your iTunes store or on the Android phones. I happen to have one phone of each. I use my Android for my illicit activity, and I'm using my iPhone more for the business now because the video on it's incredible.
No,
Billy Boy
I'll
Wannabe.
find some more stuff to say by Monday, I'm sure.
Billy Boy Wannabe said, I saw Genesis with Phil Collins and Rupp. Do we realize how talented Phil Collins is? Now, I was sick of him in the 80s because he was on he was on everybody's dial, as the old song goes. Yeah. I'll tell you what's a great song, and Rick Beato did a video on it. that was really well constructed is that what's the song called? Take a Look at Me Now. There's Just an Empty Space. Da-na-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na. I cannot remember song titles. I remember melodies. How can I just let you walk away? Just leave without a trace. Da-na-na-na. Against All Odds. You want to talk about a well-constructed pop song? I mean, that thing does all kinds of stuff. Against All Odds is a beautiful song. A beautiful song. I mean, incredible. Incredible. Like, I'll play along with that in the park, like I'll put a speaker on and kind of play along with it. And people will be like, wow, I remember that's a cool tune. It's a beautiful song. Yeah, I liked it because it was a movie and it had Rachel Ward in it. But the best thing about the movie was that when the guy was like a football player or something, and for the highlights, they used USFL highlights. It's like, wow, I'm such a loser to know that. But anyway, I am a loser. So appreciate you. A lot of fun having you guys today. Please hit. My middle school prom was Against All Odds. That's funny. Kind of like Small Mike getting some airtime. By the way, my high school dinner dance after you have your prom, do they still do that? Seniors dinner dance? Anyway, our dinner dance theme was One More Night, which looking back on it's quite ironic because that's all I needed was one more night in my around those high school losers. You know what I mean? And if you're any of you were like in my class, I don't mean you. Love you, appreciate you. G to the B to the O. Brian, who wins tomorrow? Hit it. Celtics or Sixers, Brian?
I hesitate, but I'll say Boston because they've never lost a 3-1 lead in a series.
Yeah, Boston's going to win. How ironic or weird or whatever would it be if you let this Sixer team that is totally mid?
But
you guys have.
I don't say that with 100% confidence, but I think Boston will win.
No, Kyle's put a futures bet on New York to beat y'all, and I'm gonna have to say I concur with that, Brian. Y'all look awful, just awful, Brian. 5 quarters of wretched basketball. No offense.
I might agree, but I'll tell Kyle that he's out of here.
Peace. Why does it sound like that? It doesn't usually sound like that. You hear that? How compressed that sounds? You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another